All right, getting everything started and testing out the audio before Mark gets me set up for Cafe Enigma. I'm getting everything set up, seeing how it works. It's working out. All right, getting everything started and testing out the audio before Mark gets me set up for Cafe Enigma. Sounds good on Kick and on YouTube. Now I need to get everything set up. I'm going to do this one as a live stream. So it's going to be on live stream on the Wonderful World of Weirdness. And later on I can get a playlist set up specifically for Cafe Enigma. And with that being said, let me go ahead and see what's going on here on Twitch. Sounds good on Twitch. And now we have to hit refresh on Rumble. See what's going on there too. So far it sounds good on Rumble as well. And I guess I do have to go check DLive out. This is the part that annoys me the most, because sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So let's find out. So far so good. Let's see what's going on there too. Oh, we got another spammer on DLive giving me the same spill they give me on Rumble. Notice how much effort you're putting into your live streams and blah blah blah. Okay, so we have everything set up, and once everything is good to go, I will have everything set up and looking good. So let me go ahead and turn off this window sharing for you guys. And when the show starts, I don't even know why I did that Siberian Fireball. That's not until next week. Talk about a spoiler. I apologize about that. Old Roger and his ignoramus. New beginnings, actually. I can go ahead and just change that to new beginning. That is going to be the name of this episode. So there we go. We are up and ready to go. This is going to be streamed on Dragus Productions, hosted by me, Roger Hanson. This is Cafe Enigma radio show with Roger Hanson. New start, not new beginnings. Have to go in and straighten it out again. Boy, oh boy, Roger. New start. Hopefully, I keep it all cool, calm, and collective. And we have a good show. So yeah, looks good. Here we go. We are getting ready to go in.
Hey, Roger, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing. I got everything set up and ready to go.
Yep, I'm kind of rolling along right now too. Had some issues with connections earlier, but yeah, I got it all worked out now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got everything on my end straightened out, ready to go. So just Tell me where you want me to go, and I'm ready to do it.
Yeah. You know, like I was saying earlier in chat,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to what I'm going to do is I'll talk to you up until about 2 or 3 minutes before we head over to the main room.
Okay.
That way I can get that, we can get all settled in and set up there. And then once we do that, you'll have up until the first break is going to be since we're going to not have a clip tonight. There wouldn't be a break in the first hour due to the clip.
Okay.
All right. Uh, Normally, but tonight, since it's meet and greet night,
Yep.
it's we are going to do a break at the 20-minute mark.
Okay.
So just keep an eye out for me on that.
We can do that. I've actually incorporated that. I did a little bit of an outline for myself, so I incorporated. I didn't know the exact timing and everything, but
Yeah.
I have that to where I'm gonna have it right in front of me. You know what I mean? To where I can
Yep.
keep track. So
MC Dirty Work in the YouTube channel. Hey, and he's probably over on D Live too. Do you need the link or do you have the link already? It's just me and Roger for this part, but we'll get you situated and add you in later on for when we start the group call. Let me know. I should have already given you that, I think, already.
mhm. I also um I've met this cool dude, man, and we've been talking on Teams. Okay, I don't know if Sonya's told you about him, but his name's Jahan, and I
I
added
haven't,
I
I
added
don't know anything about him.
I added him to the Cafe at Enigma too, and there's a chance he might be able to come in too. This is a pretty cool guy. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been talking to him for a couple
Yeah. That's
times.
great because it's a whole new outlook on the show and way we're going to do things. We are going to be on two of the internet stations tonight
Okay.
because I take and manage those stations, so I'm going to get those up and out for us.
Okay.
But before we take and get going here, let me do some stuff over here in OBS. Make sure we're all good.
Okay.
Do Roger Hanson. Uh-oh. No. Oh, Teams. That's the one. There we go.
Gotta love team.
And and take the standby banner out so that it's you and me there for now. And then I'll start up the next call at the top of the hour with the Caffeine Enigma group. Um, we'll do a countdown. I'll do countdowns just like I do with the other shows, and I know that you know
Hmm.
how that works.
Yeah.
So this should be a pretty good show for a start show. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm hoping David can come in too tonight as
Oh, that
well.
would be excellent.
Yeah,
That would be that. I mean, to be
yeah,
honest, man, I really miss having
yeah.
him talking as much as what he used to. It just that I think the show's losing more with him not talking rather than sitting in the back and not saying nothing. You know. Just my personal take on it. I love having conversations with Dave. Oh, is there something?
Yeah, Nancy was asking if there's any other broadcast links besides that. Oh, and yeah, we will go out on since it's the only there's only two stations that I manage. Uh, Pyramid One, what is it? Studio B and Studio C
Hmm.
is where it will go out to audio wise for the internet radio broadcast. But oh, looks like Sonya made it in too, and
Yep. Jahan.
Jahan.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Um, we'll get that all settled um, and worked out. I have your breaks. Your first break will be roughly about 5 minutes long.
Okay.
So it'd probably be good, you know, to kind of, you know, talk about where you want to go with the group,
Yeah. Now
if
I wanted
right
to.
off the bat,
Yeah.
and then introduce them when we come back from the break.
Now on the introductions, whenever we were doing going to do the introductions, I was hoping to maybe get into like reminiscing, you know what I mean? And then after we've gotten through all that, do like a dedication with I keep saying JD,
to
right?
to my era and
Yeah.
the Nancy
Oh yeah. Most
reboot.
yeah. And Nancy, I'm glad she's gonna be in there because freaking I was debating on that because I really wanted her to say some stuff too because I was able to listen to her archive
Yeah,
stuff.
well, she like I said, she was original member of the group.
Hmm. It's pretty cool. JC
Yeah,
Johnson
and
too.
David, well, we that's what we were talking about, David. We were talking about you. I know he's listening to us. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, David's a tool, man. He's everywhere. Oh, David, I hope you're going to be the time guy tonight. All right,
Mhm.
help him out with the time. The same breaks for times will be the same breaks for Nancy's show on Sunday nights,
As a matter of fact,
I believe, basically.
as a matter of fact, man, if he wants to come into the prep time, have him come in because freaking I'd love to have him right here with us. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That way we can get
Well,
it.
just go ahead and add him in then. You
Okay.
know, you can add him.
Okay.
I'm I'm still for some oh, Nancy says let's rock out. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Hold on here, Nancy. I'm gonna try to bring back the video stream here on Telegram.
I okay. So in the search thing, how do I pull him up to where he's in there?
There it is. He okay, if all else fails, he might be under David Champ. You know
Okay.
that.
Yeah. Dave Campion is what I got to type in
Yeah, you'll
there.
see him in green.
Okay.
Yeah, he's it's David Campion. He's in green.
Yeah.
He's got the shield, the white shield with DC on it.
I just didn't realize how many
Yeah.
people
Mayan
I
cow.
I have on my thing, man. Oh, it's got us in a new conversation now.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says you're starting a new conversation.
Yeah, it will. That's
Okay,
fine. And then we'll go over there and
okay.
it'll, no.
There we go. There we go. Now, the one he's on, that's the one with his face and everything on it, right? It's not the one that's just an avatar, because
No, it's the Avatar one. That's the one David's on right now. The you'll see the green dot by him.
okay, let me go in and double check. Make sure I got the right one. Oh, DC. Oh,
See it?
yeah, the one with just DC. I gotta add them to it. That's messed up. All these avatars. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's how it goes.
We gotta pay our dues. That's what it's about. All these frustrating, aggravating
Let me
duties.
see if I can add him in from here real quick. Might be easier for me.
Probably would be. Yeah, because it doesn't have like a green.
No, for some reason, I guess it 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 didn't bring him up over here in our. But in the future, in the future, I will have a pre-show special for this. Okay, just to let everybody know, and it'll be pre-show, after show. We use the same one for the pre-show and as in the after show.
Hmm.
All right, because by the time we get back over here, everything will be, all cleared out anyways. Roger, if you want, you can use your camera. That's fine.
Yeah.
Oops, I
Yeah, I know. I
made
mean, I was kind
it.
of debating on that too. I didn't know if everybody could handle my sexiness and my beautiful
Your
fatigue.
sexiness.
You
Oh
know
my
it.
God,
You blow,
get out of here, buddy.
I blow them away with a sexy voice. You imagine what happened if you seen my face? Oh, he's there. He is in the room. So we got that. Dave's there.
Okay,
Go, Dave Capione.
go, David.
Go,
Go,
David. Go, David.
David's a pro in this. You know that, right?
Now, see, I'm happy with that because now I can actually talk to him more. I'm sick of not being able to talk to Dave, man. So you do you
No, I get I keep getting this David Campione OTO, and that when I try to bring him up, I don't know, but
well, he's in the group now. I'm gonna tag you that way you know where we're at.
well, we're gonna get it all started up here pretty soon, anyways.
Okay.
Okay, now let's just go over format a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, uh, we need to, you need to take and do your break at the 25-minute mark.
25-minute mark.
Okay. Yeah. And then you can do it a little bit before or a little bit after. Try not to do it more than a minute. All right.
Okay.
Because it messes the stations up later for their timing. And or they won't, when we do start getting numbers all over and they start scouting the show again,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for terrestrial side, they'll want us to be, right on point with those break times.
Okay.
Every time that you don't make your break time, oh, that's a strike against you.
Okay.
All right, it's not as bad as a language strike. All right, with the cursing and swearing,
Mm-hmm.
but it is a strike against you as far as how they look at the ability to pick you up normally as a regular show, you know even if it's kind of for a filler for them
All right.
in some respects. But either way, this is a good time, and hopefully we'll get 5, 6 months down the road, we'll get some you know intel about hey, no, we like the show, you've been, or oh, you've been picked up. you
That's cool.
know what is it, AM or FM? And then I'll just get that. I won't get any call numbers or letters or anything like that, or what the station's names are. I don't want to know those because it's like anything else. Oh, you mentioned my station first, that station first, and we're in competition, blah blah blah. Yeah. Well, we have the X amount of numbers and they don't, or the other way around. I'm like, yeah, right. Well, anyways, the whole thing about this is just getting the show out,
Yeah.
and as much and as far as possible. That's always been what's going on. Ox 5 in the kick chat. Appreciate you, buddy. Um, Roger, if anybody is out there that is a moderator, please give shouts so that I can take and pin them up.
Okay.
or acknowledge them. But when we're on air, we can't do that because stations get a little, as far as like the other platforms and that go, they get a little upset. We're mentioning someone over another. It's kind of like the radio station pissing
Yeah.
contest.
Don't do no shout outs then,
Yeah.
but
So,
during the
well,
show.
we can do shout outs on our break time, and that's a good thing. I like that. Hey, am I coming in too loud or?
No, you're coming in fine on mine, but I'm wearing these headphones, so my audio isn't necessarily
Oh,
the
you sound really good. I mean,
okay.
that's good.
Now I do have a camera available. I turn the light on. I was debating on if I wanted to do it. Because I mean I could do it to where if anybody wants to see my beautiful, sexy face, they have to come and see it at Cafe Enigma. That's right.
Sonya says Roger is sexy.
She knows it. She knows it.
Oh,
She she
she
told
knows.
she told me that the last time when she was really drunk. She goes, Roger, you're so
When she was
sexy.
drunk. Well,
Yeah,
see that's the key,
drunk
Do
chicks
we
love
believe
me,
do we
dude.
always believe people that are
Dude, I don't know what it is. Drunk chicks love me. I don't know what the deal is. Like they,
you know what and you ever heard that song She Said?
yeah,
And
exactly.
you know what it was what I woke up was in line next to me inside of my bed. And you know what she said? What
It-
she said? I'm getting to that. What did she say? She said, ooh, ooh. That's a great Cramps tune. I'll put that in sometime. But your breaks are going to be pretty cool. And I'm sure you're going to like them. And yeah. I did put the for
Not,
the midway break
mm-hmm.
the Enterprise song in
Okay.
Faith of the Heart,
Yeah.
because that's a blast from the past.
Well, I know that. I mean, every time I was listening to those archive ones, man, I was like, wow, dude. Like, you put them in a lot of them. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's big. Now, Mark or Dave wants to know what the breaks are for the show. I told him the
20. It's going to be 20,
20.
5 till,
Okay.
and then 40-minute mark. And
25
then
till, and then the 40-minute mark.
right. And then when we come back at the 45-minute mark, all we have to do is kind of wrap up, do it real quick, and then make sure you get everybody's information out. And we have to end by 5 till. Okay? Because there's a buffer file for the end of the show, and
Okay.
that goes out on the air too.
Okay.
Okay?
So this is going to be a
So,
1 hour show?
no, it's a 2-hour show.
Okay. Okay.
All right?
Okay. So we're going to have 25 minutes in the second hour as well. And then,
No, no, no.
oh,
You'll
okay.
get you'll get 35 minutes, and then you have like another 12 when we come back from break. But the 12 when you come back from break will be a recap and get that information out. And the bigger your crew is tonight, the more time you'll need for that. Make sure everybody gives out everything that they can.
Yeah.
You know,
Now, I've been noticing too that Nancy kind of gets into that whenever she starts hitting the 3 minute mark.
but Nancy's been doing this for a lot longer than you.
Well, I mean, I know that,
Yeah.
but like
But
it's
once you, but yeah, and then she doesn't get everybody in always, but most of the time she does.
yeah.
And if Nancy, if you're listening, please drop Raph in too, because he's come in a bunch of times as well on Cafe Enigma in the past. I think that would be good. Um, man, if let me know when you want to do Crystal Skulls, and I'll get Joshua Shapiro in.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be real cool. Now the only thing that I have a problem with when it comes to the crystal skulls is they scare me.
Well, you can tell him that, and he can tell you why, and
Well, I mean
you
they
know,
they look at me funny.
he look at you funny.
They say really really strange things to me that I just oh, I need to stop that. I got to be professional tonight. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you better start. Yeah, you bet. Yeah.
Sorry.
What happened? What happened to your camera and your picture?
Well, the
There it is. There we go.
am I popping up? Are you?
Now, now you are. You before you were like didn't have like any kind of picture up there at all, and then it said, you know, now your picture's back.
Okay, good. Good. Now I have to put my face up there if I can. I don't know if it'll.
You, it's up there. I mean, if you want to, you can go into the camera and go down through, and you'll see backgrounds,
Hmm.
and you can just put the background up, and that's kind of cool too.
Yeah. Well, I could actually like just put my actual face on there, but uh, the whole the whole thing with my webcam is it's not really all that great, you know what I mean? So,
Well, when I got mine, I got a cheapo, but hey, I'm an audio guy first, you know.
hmm exactly. That's the way I've always been, and it kind of messes everything up.
All right. Man, big group over in well, not super big, but coming there. MC Dirty Work gave us a host over in D Live, and we got a bunch of folks over there, about 15 viewers in in D Live already, and that's great. We're building up. We got about 12 to 14 in Kick here and there, and I'm sure that's going to grow as we go.
Yeah.
Especially, when Mark comes in there and starts flicking his hair around.
Well, yeah, that's the clincher, dude. When we get freaking like a sexy British dude that comes in and starts flaunting his shit, we're on top, dude.
Yeah, that's when you know that it's all going to hell, right?
Yeah, it's like, but dude, I got him real good. I got him real good the other day. Freaking, we were talking politics, and he wanted to talk about Pill from England, and
Okay.
he thought I was going to be all rebellious and stuff, and I did like a switch on him, and by the end of the show, he didn't know what to think. He was
Yeah. Mark's over in Rumble listening to us. He goes, me flicking and flaunting?
he knows
Yeah,
it's true.
yeah, guys. If I know our crew is really patient, and they're patiently waiting for me to connect with them. It's going to be another 5 minutes so that we don't run out of time for the breaks. All right, because with this, we only get like 1 hour on a session with this, and it sounds really crappy if you have to take and split it up uh, in the middle of a show, especially when you're supposed to be live on the radio side.
Hmm.
So we're going to do this and make it sound as professional and great as possible. Yes, you flaunting, Mr. Edwardy.
He is ready to. You can tell when he's fired up because that's when he starts talking crazy stuff.
And I love it, especially. I know Roger's not a big fan of it, but I love it when people drop emotes in my chats. So if you're there, please drop some emotes. Let us know you're there. And the topics might not always be your thing, but you might have a favorite person on the panel here come soon, or someone you really like. Drop those. emotes and let us know that you're there and live, or at least watching to see if one of your favorite people come up with the topics.
Uh,
Yeah.
Now with me, it's not that well, yeah, I guess I don't like them in a sense, but it's just I don't understand them. Like they have all these
Yeah.
weird looking little faces and stuff, and I guess they got like meanings that go with them and stuff.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Like,
Meanings.
I'm like, my
Yeah.
God, dude, seriously, give me a break. Now I
I
got,
got some that I got some that say lurk. I got some that say, let's go. I got some that say, also, and hype. Let's get this show going, or thumbs up, like it, like what you're seeing, hearing. You know,
well,
that's uh,
like
it's
they got
something.
code
It,
words too.
it's really something that we don't get on the radio side,
Mm-hmm.
and it's an input uh, that lets us know that not only that you're there, but hey, you got some cool stuff. Maybe and I love to steal emotes too.
Oh,
Don't tell nobody.
okay, okay.
You can only find them on,
Ha ha.
when I spam them on everybody else's uh, channels that I really like, because you know um, I might not like some of the cool um, well the games, but
Mm-hmm.
I do like the people and how the people present them, and there's lots of great folks out there that make even a game that I'm not even interested in entertaining, and you get that real quick with that. In about 2 minutes here, we're going to switch on over. Roger, are you
Okay.
all set and ready?
Yeah, it looks like I am. I have not been able to fully understand how to handle this um camera thing. So I
What hammer thing?
know my camera.
Oh,
It's
the camera. Don't worry about it. We got
yeah.
the you got your picture of your shiny bald head like mine up there,
Hmm.
because baldness is a sure sign of wisdom, but
Hmm.
don't let Nancy tell you otherwise.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
All right.
know. I know. She constantly tells me about that, about my bald head, like all the time. She's just really mean to me all the time.
Nancy?
Yeah,
Oh no.
she's a tough boss to freaking
Yeah, on that cafe, not Cafe Enigma, but on that Vixen's vault, she's got the vault locked down at times. Yeah,
yeah.
and it's good. It's fun.
She tells me that if I speak out of turn, she's going to hit me profusely again.
For what?
Yeah, she said she's going to hit me profusely across the
Profusely.
acro-
Profusely.
across the forehead and around the neck region.
Oh, man. Well, at least she didn't say that she was going to take and clothesline you or cack you.
No,
But
that
anyways,
was the last time.
that was just the last time. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that was the last time.
Anyways, I'm gonna get us. We're pretty close now. Remember, we gotta.
Hmm.
I'll help you out and remind you on breaks.
Hmm.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna take in. Go ahead and hang up here, and I'm gonna switch us over, and we'll get on and start this new show. That's not so new, but with you and the rest of the crew. I'll see you over there, Roger.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So let's do this. It's time for us to transition to the new call in. I'm going to keep Dragus's D Live open so that way we can hear.
All right. I'm gonna make this call to the rest of the group. Roger, Mark, Nancy, Sonia, Vicky, David Campione, and I haven't seen
Fine.
Jason yet. Hey, how's it going?
I'm good.
All right.
Hey,
Vicky,
Vicky. Hey,
there's
Mark.
Dave.
Hey,
There we
Roger.
Nancy.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey,
Roger.
Vicky. Hey, Mark.
Hey,
Hey,
Mark.
Roger.
Hey.
Roger, this is
Hi.
really great. You got all new people on here.
Yeah, isn't it?
Ah, yeah. We are on
All 2.0,
fire,
huh?
man. We are
That's
on
right.
fire. This
Oh
is
boy.
excellent.
There's Mark Airworthy. How you doing, Mark?
All right. Everybody's sound levels are good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get. I'm gonna start the buffer file, and we're gonna get this rolling.
All
Okay.
right.
Oh, here's Sonia. Sonia's in.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
There we go. See, we got all of them. We got the veterans in here too.
All right.
Hello.
Roger, if you're all set, I'm gonna get you rolling. I'm gonna slide you in. You're gonna have 30 seconds as of this moment to start us out and get us going. All right.
Okay. Just let me know.
I'm trying to get Jason. I'll keep trying to get Jason in with us
Okay.
as we
Cool.
go.
And I did have my camera set up. I don't know if I can get it started or not.
Okay. Here's your countdown, Roger. All right. Don't go too far with that. All right.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Roger, you are live and on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cafe Enigma, where mysteries linger at the edge of science and imagination. Tonight, we're celebrating the opening once again of Cafe Enigma. We will start the first episode without a topic. This is a time to reunite, reflect on past episodes of Cafe Enigma, and share experiences as well as meet new people to the show and get to know them too. So with that being said, we first have to take a look and understand Cafe Enigma. We have to look at its history and listen to people's stories and experiences to previous shows. And what was it like before on Cafe Enigma. So with that being said, I'm going to get into introducing our panel for tonight. Tonight we have with us, starting out, Sonia Galactic, or Galactec, not Galactic, Galactec with an E, T-E-C instead of T-I-C. As well as her, we have Nancy Planeta from the Vixen's Vault, as well as David Capione. And
Oh, hello.
and we also have Vicky Voss, who is here
Hello.
with us. And we have a newcomer to the show, which is Jahan Satur. Welcome to the show, Jahan. And with that being said, I am wanting to open this up to the panel members so that we can have them give a little bit of background about themselves. Now, with that, so who first would like to do it? I really don't like the idea of having to pick somebody. Who would like to go first and give a little bit of background about themselves?
I
I'll
suppose
go.
I suppose I'll go first.
Okay.
The reason why I'll go first is because I created Cafe Enigma originally, and it ran for about 10 and a half years under my my tutelage. As I created it, I produced it, I hosted it, well, moderated it, and I don't like the word host for the show that I did. It's more of a moderator, kind of like just kind of steering the topics. and we had a lot of different topics. But before I even started the show, I took about a year and a half to figure out how to make this show and what I needed to do to create a show that was going to be legacy and get me places and meet and talk to interesting people about interesting and not so always uh, how would you call it, common topics of the time or the day. Some of the topics were fringe. In fact, a lot of them were. So it's that's kind of how Cafe Enigma started. I looked at shows like, let's see, 60 Minutes. I looked at shows like the Lear Report on PBS and what was it, Meet the Press. And I said, a group of people with different ideas from different places and different specialties. What better kind of show could you put them in than to introduce them to a topic and then kind of like, what do you guys think of this? And then some people were familiar with the topics, others weren't, but everybody has something to say about the topic, whether they wanted to or not. They could, some of them were like, yeah, I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole, or oh yeah, that topic was great. I know all about this, that. I know some scientists or this, that, and the other, connected with it. And thankfully, when I got connected, I had been working with Nancy Planetta, who was a core member of the original show. And Nancy brought me a lot of folks from her group that we had in on that show as well. People like Peter Robbins to Scotty Roberts was on it many times. And she could probably tell you, so many more people that have been on the show, and the topics that we talked about, because, 10 years, 10 and a half years was a long time for a radio show to go on. And, towards the end, I started getting a little burnout, and I started looking at trying to find people who would fill my shoes yet, for speaking, because I wanted to get a little bit of, I loved the show and I wanted to take and keep going, but I just didn't have it in me to do the topic in the, make the connections with the people anymore. I wanted to do more of the production work where I'm at right now. And I've been doing, production and engineering and syndication and all that for a lot longer than I've done all the other shows and things with those shows. But that's the part that I love the most. And that's why I continue to do all this. And now, I've kind of recruited, and we found, I had some promising people, but I'm a stickler when it comes to format, and Nancy will tell you that too. It's like, because
Yep.
format with radio is everything. And if you can keep to that format and it's solid, you'll have a show for a long time that people will come into. And even if they don't listen to you for like a month or 2 or 3, they can always come back and be like, oh yeah, that was a great show. How did I miss that? And then they'll start going through the archives and catching back up. And that's really what it's about. I'm going to turn the rest of it over to Nancy, because I know she wanted to probably pop in here real quick too.
Oh yeah.
You're killing me, Mark. You're killing me.
I love you too.
Okay.
I mean, I love all my hosts. I platonically, I really do. All my hosts, no matter what show that we've ever done, are like my super closest friends in the world. We might not always see eye to eye, but it's like the shows that we do. We always connect in the end, and we move on, and we help each other, and that's what kind of, I guess, what Roger wants us to do tonight. Make the next step and get this going again.
Bring the dream back
Well, I
to
think
life.
in essence,
Sorry.
well, in essence, I think it is that, I mean, it's a family. You built a network of family. And that is not easy to do, especially not in entertainment. It is not easy. There's always egos involved. There's always intelligence involved. There's politics involved. I mean, personal issues get involved. It's very hard to find a circle that you don't lose pieces and it doesn't get malformed. And that's kind of what happened with Dragus Productions. Mark was able to form a circle that has stayed pretty well gelled. I mean, it's pretty gelled. I mean, I know David has been with us forever. Roger, you've been with us for a while. It's just phenomenal. I can name multiple hosts that are still working with Mark that started out years and years and years ago. And that is a tribute to you, Mark. I mean, you've done a good job trying to keep everybody together. And you have a lot of conflicting personalities, which is never simple, and a lot of very, very intelligent people, which makes it even harder because we tend to be very monovisioned. But that being said, I had the honor of hosting Cafe Enigma for several years. Mark had asked me to take it on when I was getting ready to jump back into radio. I had taken a sabbatical from radio during the COVID time span, mainly because it was just, things were just too erratic. And very honestly, it was just too inflammatory. People were angry. Keeping to a subject matter that went on to the fringe could get you fried or get you cooked or get you in trouble. So it was just, I needed the break. I took the break, and what brought me back was Mark, because he wanted to actually revive Cafe Enigma. Now, the fun part is that when we revived it, it was not, my format for my show, because I've had the Vixen's Vault for over 20 years, which is the show that is on Dragus Networks. That format differs from the way Cafe Enigma was run. And I had a co-host with me, and it was very hard to try to keep to what Mark wanted. Sadly, very hard. And I will take fault in that too, because again, hosts are hosts are hosts. We have our own styles. We have our own ways of doing things. And I can tell you, even on the Vault, it's funny as heck, because pretty much all the players you're seeing or listening to here are also on the Vixen's Vault as part of my panel. And we can start with a subject. I mean, I actually had an agenda last week. I am not joking. I worked on an agenda for my show to try to keep it circled to where I needed it. And nope, we were off in 5,000 different directions. But that actually it makes it it's kind of the allure to the show. I know I've talked to friends of mine who listen to it after the fact and say, it's one of the most interesting shows because you've got so many different opinions. And Roger, I got to tell you, it's hysterical because your name gets brought up quite a bit, because you're like that voice out of nowhere that comes up with something that's like completely outside the box. And my reaction to it usually cracks everybody up because you never faze me. You couldn't faze me if you wanted to. You give me a lot of really great punchlines. We'll put it that way. It's lots of fun. But again, the idea of Cafe Enigma was to create, it was to stir people's creativity, I think, in many ways. It was to get people to go a little bit outside the box, to let their imagination free a little bit. And I commend Mark for that, because that, again, is not an easy thing to do with any type of radio, even television outlet. It is not easy to do. And it's definitely not easy to do for over a decade. Truly, it's not. With that being said, I cannot think of a better person to host the new rebooted Cafe Enigma than Roger. I mean, Roger Hanson, I've known him quite a bit now. He's always thoroughly enjoyable to have on my show, even though he doesn't think so sometimes. He's brilliant. And he is probably one of the most innovative thinkers I've ever met. Honest to God, he will surprise y'all. I know he sounds real casual and calm, but trust me, you get him into a subject and he will go 90 miles deep before you could even blink your eyes. I mean, he's all the way back in, pre-Babylonian time periods, naming off gods, goddesses, and ether and everything else while you're going, what? Wait, when do we go there? Hold on, wait. So again, perfect for this genre, perfect for this show. And I'm honored to be on this panel tonight. Truly honored to have been asked to be here.
Okay, so now we have to pick between David Capione and Rafael Martinez. Which one of you two want to go first so that we can kind of get a little bit of information from you guys?
Go ahead, Rafi.
Dave, you go first.
Okay. Okay. My name's David Campione. I got involved with Cafe Enigma, I don't know, 9 years ago. I put out a UFO manual that my father was involved with. I grew up about the flying saucers and UFOs, that's what I'm calling them, spacecraft, and ET, extraterrestrial spacecraft. I don't care what the government says. They're not UAPs or nothing. They are unidentified. Most of them are. Some of them are identified. And anyway, when I put out the manual, I was on LinkedIn, and I was promoting it, and I would scroll down. I don't know if anybody has been on LinkedIn, and I was just looking for radio shows or anything new that would accept my information that I have, and plus my book. And Mark Wachashek, he said, "Well, come on at Cafe Enigma." So I've been hanging in there for 9 years, or at least 9 years. I don't even know how many years it's been, and I have quite a bit of experience with flying saucers, and because my dad was a researcher, and I've seen 13 of them in my lifetime, actually 14 now. Yeah, because I believe I've met two ETs, human beings, none of this Hollywood crap, which the CIA funds, and they don't want anybody to contact the ETs. So because they want to control us, they want to control everything, all our thoughts and all our visual information. And but my dad, I started learning. He took a show on the road back in New Jersey. In the late 60s, 70s, and then in the 80s. But he lost his eyesight. He was a factory worker at E.J. Budd Company. He used to cut sheet metal for the stainless steel trains, and some of them I guess are still running from back in the 50s and 60s. They're still on the tracks, and he just liked the machine, the metal. He was a metal worker. Anyway, he had an industrial accident where he cut part of his thumb off, and as he was laying there in the operating room within this huge factory, the operating lamp dropped down on, hit him in the head, and it took 7 years for him to lose his eyesight. He lost 90% of it. So I used to drive him to he was able to do his lectures, and I would take him to his lectures, and he would give the lectures. I'd run the slide projector. Some of you may not know, there were color slides, and there were projectors where you would project on a little screen with lenticular lines. And anyway, I picked up a lot of his information over the years, and then when he passed on, I decided I was going to make a video, and which was a VHS. I don't know how many people are listening that know what a VHS is, but I think this panel knows. And I sent it. I had a friend of mine in the Edit Center in West Palm Beach. And he put it together for me, and all I did was the dialogue, and he incorporated everything. And then I sent I sent the VHS tape off to a Las Vegas UFO convention in 1992. And it was 59 minutes, the whole documentary. And it was part of this, well, it was mostly all about the slide presentation. And I won the award for the best documentary in the world at that time in 92. And I got a little EBE award, Extraterrestrial Biological Entity Award, which is the weirdo award. But I still love it. I still have it. And I still see, I haven't seen anything lately other than when I was photographing the rocket ships that go up off of Cape Canaveral. And it was the SpaceX, the first one, the SpaceX, right after, it was a few days after, and Nancy knows because they watch them, and Rafi. And it was a couple of days after the Artemis went up. It was in January, about a year and a half ago. And then when I was photographing, I have long lenses because I do a lot of wildlife photography. And then when I put it on my computer, and I said, well, why is there a star in there? I mean, I've never recorded stars, and it was motionless because everything moves. I mean, you need an equatorial mount to really get good astronomical stars. So I kept on enlarging it, and it looks like a flying. There's a saucer sitting there. Well, there's a craft with headlights sitting up in this, watching this rocket ship go off. And I had talked to somebody about it, and they said, yeah, well, Elon was probably up on it when he was probably on the craft watching it. So that's my expertise, and I've been around this for even doing work for the CIA in the early 70s. So that's somewhat about my background, and I have a pretty good knowledge of the real ETs, not the stuff that you see in the movies and on TV and X-Files and everything, which I like. I like the X-Files. So that's all for right now, and I'll pass it along to Rafi.
Now before
Hi.
hold on, Rafi. Before we get to go, I believe we're coming up close on the first commercial break. So.
Oh yeah, I didn't even.
You got about 2 more minutes. Keep going, but make it quick, Raph.
No problem. No problem. So basically, I got involved into podcasting with Nancy, but I had a different reason. I was just waking up to what's happening and the conspiracies, and I started digging, and once I started pulling that thread, I just couldn't stop. And so here we are. I think our first air time together was 10 years ago at least. But it's been a hell of a ride. I've learned a lot, and it's just I don't think we're close to done with learning everything we need to learn.
Well,
Go ahead.
we have less than 2 minutes now before we have to go to our break. Now, what I want to do, because it was towards the end where Raph, you were talking, so I want to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'd like to hear a little bit more from you, because we've had a really good conversation here, and I want to continue it. You okay with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I hope everybody has enjoyed what we've been discussing, and we will be back, and everybody on this panel will have a chance to tell their story. So with that, I'm going to take us out to a break, and we'll be right back.
Little early, but it works.
Okay.
That'll work out over time.
I wasn't. I thought it was. I thought it was 2-4 when I looked down. I'm running bifocals because I can't even see these things. I can't even see down there in my corner.
Yeah.
Somebody said, "Oh, it kind of got me worried."
No, don't worry if you see me raise my hand.
Well, you
The only
said
time I raise my hand is it's like
Mm-hmm.
we need to cut time.
no, during breaks you guys can talk. Jahan, if you want to, you can
Sweet.
unmute and say whatever you want. Have you been on yet, Sonia?
No,
Okay, so yeah, and like I said, what I want to do is I want to be able to get everybody to just basically open up and let everybody know a little bit about themselves. Because, like Mark said, this is a get together. This is I like to call it a mixer. We're having a mixer. I'm trying to be.
Do we want to tell them what I used to do or no?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I don't really have to.
You don't have to, but you can. It's
Yeah,
it's what you want.
I mean, if they're listening to this to the network, they probably already know.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
There's
Now,
nothing wrong because you may have new listeners out there, Rafi. That's a possibility.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
That's fine.
yeah, and new platforms since the very first show.
No.
Because the reboot was not like how Roger's going to take it in the original format. He's going to do the clips from the In Search Of, like I did, or he's going to take and do Cosmos clips or other types of clips and send them in to me to be played over.
Gotcha.
And we're gonna, it's not going to be a crazy wild ride like the last one. Reboot.
The reboot.
The reboot.
The new
Dave
AK
Campione.
Yes.
Dave,
Yes,
look
ma'am.
in the chat.
Yeah.
I dropped a video in the chat of something
I
I
see it.
saw last week. I could not
Oh.
explain that, dude. I sat there out there for like 5 minutes and it didn't go anywhere.
All I
And
see
then it
is
just
black.
disappeared.
I just see
No,
black.
you see the bright light that's like, okay,
Oh,
in the
yeah, here
background
it
you can see like a
comes.
street light. Yeah, it just
Yeah.
it didn't go anywhere. It just stayed in the one position. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell? You can hear me. I'm like, what is that?
I muted it
I always
because
thought
the noise was coming out. Yeah, there was too noisy.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you don't know. Anything I see at night, unless you got a light on it, we have no idea. It could be a craft. You don't know. You have no idea.
Well, I kept trying to think because the planes always have the red and green blinkers. So they're
Oh, yeah,
even
exactly.
helicopters have got their blinkers. This did not. And it didn't move. Like I sat there for a full minute video and it did not move. I'm like, what is that? I mean, I'm thinking maybe it's a Japanese lantern. I'm like, that's really bright white for a Japanese lantern, but it just was not moving.
Well, next time you see anything like that, mentally project. Are you a friendly ET visitors or flying saucers or something? And they, and that's how you get contacted.
That's okay. Now you're flipping me out because earlier that night I had done Stephen Greer's CE5 meditation.
Oh boy.
Which is exactly, yeah, that's exactly for that purpose.
Yeah.
All
So
right. Sorry, 3, 2, 1, and we're back.
hello, everybody, and welcome back to Cafe Enigma, where we will be discussing its history and how we're going to go when it comes to moving forward with this series in the future. Now, right now, well, before we went to break, we were talking to the panel members and getting to know a little bit about their background, and a little bit about the history of Cafe Enigma and things of that nature. And we made it around to Rafael Martinez. Now we have Rafael and we have Sonia Galactic, as well as Mark Edworthy and Jahan Satir, who have yet to be able to talk. So we're going to continue this and let everybody kind of give a little bit about their background, starting with Raphael, because he needs to say more. That's all I got to say about it. So with that, I'm handing it over to the panel, and I am shutting my mouth, believe it or not, because I'm cool like that.
No, he is cool. But
Vicky,
going back to my background, I'm sorry. Going back to my background. I mean, I come from a government background. I started out in the Marines and then went federal law enforcement a couple of years after that. I was there as started out in Border Patrol, went to INS, Air Marshals, and then U.S. Customs Service. And I was there in the agency. I was in the U.S. Customs Service as a special agent as we transitioned into or got reorganized into DHS and became ICE. I watched how the character of government changed overnight, and it wasn't a good thing. I mean, even we all sat around and we all saw the historical parallels of 9/11 was our Reichstag and DHS was going to be our new Gestapo. And so I come from it that side of it. I read the Patriot Act. I know that I even told my family it was the beginning and the end of this country when I first read it, and I'm still coming from that viewpoint. But the more I found out, the more I couldn't deny it. I mean, it's not conspiracy theory; it's conspiracy fact. And I think it was a hard transition for me because I came up thinking that my government was the force for good in the world, and what little did I know that they are at the center of some of the most heinous events around the world. And a lot of times when you think they're fighting some enemy, it's actually controlled opposition. Yeah, they're working the Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution. And I think I can give a million examples of it, but what got me started down this road was actually 9/11. So from there, I mean, there's a lot more rabbit holes that these guys go down that I can't go down yet because unless I got solid evidence I could take to court, I can't wrap my head around it. It feels right, but it doesn't mean that I can prove it. So that's where I come from. That's how I view things, and hopefully I bring something to the table.
You're definitely going to bring things to the table, so I guarantee you that. I've had plenty enough conversations with you. So,
Thank you.
Vicky Voss is the one I forgot to mention. I apologize about that, sweetheart. You are the most amazing female next to Nancy and Sonia, of course. To get all three of you guys are amazing, and I apologize for that. So, with that being said, I'm gonna get you to talk a little bit and tell everybody next what a little bit about yourself, okay? And I do apologize.
Okay. No problem. My name is Victoria Vast, and I met Nancy on Telegram. She was very kind to me, and she answered questions that I had, particularly about EMF protection. I was asking for a soldier that was having problems, and she took the time to answer. And actually, I think we talked by phone, and she answered. Where we could get these hats that have the aluminum, protect against the EMF. And he was just very kind to me. And so we started being friends there. This is back in, 2021, I believe.
Yep. It was end of 2020 into going into 2021. Yep.
Yes. And so I just have so appreciated her and just her warmth and acceptance. I am a former nurse. I specialized, I guess, in health needs of women, which was labor and delivery, postpartum, antepartum, newborn nursery. And then I did some school nursing. And so I have that medical background when it came to looking at the job and all things crazy there. And then also, my husband worked on the Casey Anthony trial back in 2011, which actually, came back up, or these some of the players and the trafficking and the different um, satanic ritual murders and satanic ritual abuse, these kind of things kind of all intermingled in there. My brother was the one that told me about, um, this, what was going on behind the scenes. And I listened to podcasts and I got educated, and then I got on the chats and met Nancy. I am probably the odd person out because I'm an evangelical Christian. That means I was saved when I was 6 years old. And what Nancy has been kind enough to let me, you know, um, kind of put that perspective in. And I
That's
will,
not kindness, Vicky. That is not kindness. That is respect for who you are, because
well,
we're not our religions. We're who we are, and you're a beautiful person, and you have a message. So, heck yeah,
and
have at
well,
it.
thank you. Well, I had been listening to Dr. Michael Heiser because I'd been following prophecy and biblical prophecy, and then Michael Heiser's work. And he likes to bring the Deuteronomy 32 worldview, which goes back to what Roger, was talking about back in the Mesopotamian, those texts and the different gods and that kind of thing. Well, Michael Heiser brings that in, and he ties it into scripture that evangelicals read, because we can only read it from church traditions, which means we don't have that background of the between the Second Temple and first century Jewish person, and then the church, the apostles and church fathers there going forward. So he, through all of his work, explains it so that we don't freak out when we hear supernatural things. Um, the different topics like werewolves or vampires or witches, those things. He explains. He loved to do Ancient Aliens. He was on Pagan podcast because he has the ability to get on that same footing of where those people are, because he can actually read those Mesopotamian texts, the Dead Sea Scrolls, because that was one of his you know, um, advanced degrees is these ancient languages. He also worked at Lagos, which was the cuneiform. If you want to read the Mesopotamian text and the Gilgamesh story in the original text, you can go to Logos and read it. It's already been, worked out the software so that you can understand it. So, and then but he still has the evangelical, he understands, he gives it to, regular church people, like I think a lot of America is probably Protestant. Not everybody, but I mean, um, but otherwise, I think that with the supernatural things coming out, AI, aliens, all of those things, the poor people like myself would really be in a world of hurt if we didn't kind of get on that same footing and say, no, this isn't weird. This is going back to that era. And what goes around comes around. I just appreciate Nancy allowing me to come and hulk out, as Rogers,
Hmm.
and put in my point of view, 2 cents from a evangelical church perspective, which is trying to add to the bigger picture. I'm not trying to proselytize or anything like that. I'm just trying to round out the bigger picture. So I've talked too much, but thank you.
Oh, thank you. And with that, I mean, it's between Mark and Sonia Galactic. And
Whoa
Now,
there, Roger. Guess who came in? We
Who-
got Jason Quigley,
Did-
MC Dirty Work, with us too now.
did he make it?
Yeah, he made it in.
Okay, good. No, we have Jason here too. But we do have a new guy in the room, so if it's okay with you guys, do you mind if we open it up and let him kind of introduce himself so that we can get to know him too? It's Jahan Satir. What do you guys think?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Let him in.
Go ahead, Jahan. Let us know a little bit about you and everything. Get to know you a little bit better.
Hey, thanks, Roger. So I'm a career musician who turned into a hypnotherapist purely, I guess, by accident. I had a lot of experiences in the music industry from very young. I'm talking 16, 17 years old with weird investors and contracts and stuff that didn't turn out too right. And I think I turned a blind eye to a lot of the more dark and obviously ritualistic type behaviors that I saw because I didn't want to believe that the thing that had been my dream since I was a small child was leading me down a dark path. So eventually, about 2010, I got a really big contract to sign, and I was sitting in my lawyer's office, and he kind of had a really sad look on his face, and he took all the contract stuff and he opened it up in front of me, and he had a big red pen, and he showed me all the different clauses and stuff where I was gonna sign away my likeness and basically be a slave to the system for the rest of my life and probably never going to be able to get out of it. And I was just in disbelief. And he more or less said to me, you know, you're a really good person and this kind of life is not for you. I know that you love music, but you're just not that guy. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he just turned around and took out his computer and he showed me a video of something to do with like the dark satanic music industry. And he was like, this is not a joke and this is not a conspiracy theory. And he more or less just said to me, I send people to the slaughter all the time, but I can't do it to you because this is just not what you're meant for. And that moment changed my life because I had to then figure out what my identity was because it had been tied to music and making people happy through music, which made me happy for a long time. And I had studied psychology at the University of West Indies. That's where I'm from, Barbados. And that just kind of came back to me as something else that I was interested in. So I went that conventional route for a while, and I realized that there was a lot of darkness going on within conventional psychology as well, where it's just all about pills and not about helping anybody. And then I got interested in hypnotherapy, and I just kind of realized that the subconscious mind, because that's all hypnotherapy is, it's nothing nefarious as a lot of people would like to think, or, you know, it's not going to let demons in or anything. It's just the study of the subconscious mind and what it is and how to access the deeper parts of a person. And that intrigued me. And so first I put it into practice on myself as I was studying, and, you know, it led me down the road of really unlocking a lot more of that conspiracy world, because I realized how much of what we thought was the real world was really just conspiracy facts, as I think it was Raphael that correctly said. And, you know, all of those eye-opening moments just made me into who I am now, and I'm just enjoying doing work, making differences where I can. And I also host the Boundless Authenticity podcast, where I have a very skeptical view of a lot of the stuff that's on the internet and spirituality. And we talk about conspiracy theories, and I speak with people who've really lived a lot of those moments and those darker realities, so we can have a realistic perspective on what's actually going on out there. But anyways, thanks again, Roger. I'll keep it short. And that's it.
That was really great. So, let me see if I can get Jason, MC Dirty Work, to sound up. Are you in here, MC?
He keeps dropping for some reason. So
Okay.
yeah.
Now, I would usually say let Mark say something, but I really, really hate it when he talks, dude. So, I mean, he's just like this.
Thanks.
He's like this English guy that's always bragging about how great English is and how great their bread is and stuff. So, I'm just gonna ask Sonia if she wants to talk first.
Sure, absolutely. I'm an artist basically. I do all kinds of art. Tattoos, kind of my money maker, I guess you could say. And then I do a T-shirt thing on the side, which is meant to help folks like expand their consciousness, because a lot of the concepts I have are, like find truth, things like that. That they're kind of different. And I kind of like that. That's what I felt like I should bring to the world. And so and then I just kind of got involved with doing podcasting a little bit. Hopefully I'll be doing my own show here pretty soon, but I've been on Nancy's show, which is Vixen's Vault, a few times, and with all these guys, really, and super fun. And I'm actually doing a little bit of co-hosting on Fridays with Jaffe Ryder, the Pirate Podcast show. And so that's really fun. I've been scheduling guests. So I'm kind of becoming, someone had said it was an agent, which I'm like, what? But as far as booking goes, getting people on different shows and things like that and scheduling and stuff. So that's been really fun. I really like that. And then I've done a little editing with Christian Latoureur, who's one of the Montauk survivors. He's apparently the actual Duncan Cameron, which is absolutely fascinating to me. And so here I am, because I love Roger. Roger invited me, and so did Mark. I love all you guys, of course. But so Roger invited me, and Mark insisted. He's very insistent that I come on. So here I am. So I'm happy to be here and share my perspective with all you guys. Yep. Mr. Edwoody.
Okay, yeah. This leaves the man of the hour, Mr. Mark Edwoody.
Thank you, Roger. What can I say? I joined Cafe near to its end. Oh, the previous show, near to its end. I think it was the beginning of last year, and it was ended in August, if I remember correctly.
September.
September,
because the vault launched in September.
Yeah. Roger actually invited me. Me and Roger have been doing various streams for some time prior to that. Being the only Brit on the show, I tend to approach various issues in a slightly different viewpoint. And I don't know, I tend to be a bit more skeptical, let's just say. Arguably a bit more pragmatic. And I know some of my opinions can annoy some people on here quite often, but we do have interesting discussions out of due to them. I don't know what to really say. My background's in my own background is in IT support and network administration, so a lot of technical background, so I tend to view a lot of these issues that are discussed, like I said, in a much more down to earth sort of context.
And,
Yeah,
and just so everybody knows too, I want to set the record straight with me and Mark. Mark is probably the coolest dude I know since I've started doing streaming. Me and him have been through thick and thin, so when I antagonize him, it's only because it's fun to do, and I will take every chance I get to just get a pot shot in on him, okay? Because there's nothing better than hanging out with Mark, and
to be fair to both of us, I think we've been working together for what, at least twice a week, if not 3 times a week, for the last two and a half years, maybe even 3 now.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I noticed that Jason never came in. Did he ever make it in?
I'm going to get him in when we go to break.
Okay.
And I reset everything again. So maybe it was because the room was too full before.
Okay.
But I will, I will, and I told him, I said, we are going to get him in, for sure. And he is listening on D Live and over on YouTube as well. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate all the folks out there that are tuned in, whether what platform they're on or where they're at. It doesn't matter. What matters is you're here with us.
Right. And I also would like to say that none of this could be possible without Mark Watoshik, aka Dragus Production. He deserves the greatest respect. And to be honest with you, this is probably one of the biggest privileges I could have ever had, because I've been talking with him about wanting to get this started, and we've been talking about it for a while, and it's because of him starting this show that we're even able to do this. So I wanted to give him a shout out too, which, if you guys don't know, that's the guy who was just talking. So
yeah.
I was able to actually be able to pronounce his last name properly finally, and because of that, I wanted to say that, you know what I mean? Because I really do enjoy spending time with you, Mark, and you've inspired a lot of people, and hopefully you're aware of that, just so you know. So
yeah, I wasn't going to take and bring the show back. I told Nancy when we did the reboot, in that if this isn't going to work, I'm never going to do this again. That the show had its heyday, and that's it. I'm never going to bring it back again. And Nancy, you remember me saying that?
I do. In fact, it was funny because I know you really well, Mark. I've known you a very long time, and I have worked with you for a very long time.
Yeah,
and I knew you were going to end up rebooting it. I knew it because it's your baby.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When you talk about Cafe Enigma, you get this nostalgia in your voice. And that type of, I guess you could say, energy doesn't die. So Cafe Enigma, just because of you, could never die. I knew you were going to end up rebooting it. I knew that was going to happen because it was something that made you happy. It was something that gave you great pleasure, and you felt very satisfied with it. And that's very important for everybody. So I am delighted you brought it back. I think it's wonderful, and I told you I am over the hills ecstatic that you've got Roger hosting it, because I think he's a perfect fit. I think I'm a little bit too dynamic. I'm a little bit, I will deep dive into conspiracies. I will deep dive into anything and just let her rip. And that is not what Cafe Enigma is. So yeah, I think perfect perfect choice, perfect timing, but I always knew you were going to bring it back. You said never. I can't tell you how many times, and you always come back around again. Yeah, I see you. I see you. I know you very well.
Yeah. Well, you know, it was, I had done other shows before that, but this show, the original Cafe Enigma, was the longest running show that I ever done on my own. And it gave me a lot of, you know,
Satisfaction.
pride,
Yeah.
satisfaction, and love. And you know, believe me, you know, the love doesn't, you know, it's not just from the satisfaction of getting it up and out, but it's also, you know, the fact that there was always great people on the panel, always. And there was only out of all those years, only one show that I ever did on my own from it that no one could make it. But Roger, you know, I'm so close, and we're so close to the break. I'm going to take us to break.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back in about 10 minutes, folks. So if you're out there in Radio Land listening to us, you'll hear some great break stuff. But we're going on break right now. We'll be right back after this. Sorry, Roger, didn't mean to cut in.
No, that's great. That's great.
You do that, but
because I know Dave was giving me the countdown.
He had to watch out. Okay, MC. All right.
I'm looking at my clock on my computer. That's what I go by. I think Nancy's a little slower than mine. Maybe I'm faster, but must be the altitude, Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was you know what? I was going based off of the 55 mark and looking at my phone.
Yeah.
Because my phone has the actual time, and you know, obviously you just subtract whatever time it is from 55.
Yeah, right.
So that's where I'm 15 minutes. But then I got the warning that said 14 minutes. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I got that too, and we're probably going to be cut off here real shortly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this call, and I'm going to try to bring Jason in with us when we come back. All right.
Sounds
so
good.
We're gonna leave this
just
then, right?
give me a. No, I'm going to end the call completely, and don't leave. You know, because that takes you out of the chats. Yeah. Okay. So just hang up, okay, folks. We'll be right back. The crew back together again. All right.
He said, "Don't leave." Right? I normally click out on that red phone up there.
Esteemed panel back.
It will end in
once I
3 minutes anyway. Remember,
3 minutes.
I'm fetching that link.
Yeah.
That's why.
Close
okay.
Minutes, so, once that's happened.
All right. Sorry, Jason. I didn't know that that was
give us
blocked.
a call back.
So we don't hang up, I guess.
No,
you can hang up, but don't leave.
Nancy's typing something in there. She's getting, yeah. Well, she already left. Nancy left, so Rafi's still here.
Hang up. Mm-hmm.
If you look at the clock up the top of Teams, it should end at 1 minute past after the hour. Yeah, I'm going to do this.
All right. Too. Yeah, I'm gonna click off too and see what happens. All right.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, here he is. He's down the bottom.
Well, was everybody still back in the group? Okay.
Yeah, Nancy left. Nancy left, though.
Don't. You can leave the call, but don't leave the group.
And Vicky left also.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Everybody hang up. Just hang up, and I'm going to call you right back.
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5. Hello. That's Raph. Coming in the room?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Raph. Let me get the rest of the folks in here. I gotta try to get Jason in. Here we go. I'm calling him. Calling Roger. Calling Mark. Calling Nancy.
Check one.
There you. Uh-oh, what? Roger, are you there? Hold on. Let me get the rest of the group. So, did you try to call? All right. I did have Jason in there. Yeah.
Who? Where is Mark?
I'm right here.
Oh, there you are. You're not showing for some reason.
Yeah, well.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, that's
Okay.
why. Yeah.
Oh, me.
Is everybody here now?
I think I'm having a weird thing.
David Campione, got to get him in here, and Jason. I told Jason, trying to get Jason in here. Oh, I've been trying to call on him too. Jason keeps hanging up for some reason over here. I don't. No, I didn't. Yeah, and Jahir, Jahan, yeah. Trying to get everybody back, but you know.
Hold on, I'm talking to Jason now, asking if he hung up on the original call.
Yeah, he's got to hang up, and then I can. It's same with David. Because it keeps bouncing him out.
I've got a weird thing going on with a small pop-up.
It's calling Jason right now. And I don't know why David's not coming in.
Not today, Satan, huh?
It is not. It is not letting me bring in David at all, or Jason now. Hang up, everybody, and let me try this again. I do mean hang up.
Okay.
All right. Hello, hello, hello.
We got you. All right.
I'm here.
Hello, hello, hello.
We're all here.
Okay. Got it.
Jason, you're here. All right. Where's Roger now?
Oh, I'm here.
He's in.
I'm here.
Roger's here.
I'm
Okay,
here.
Nancy's here. Roger's here. The only
Sonya's here.
we're missing Jahan
We're in a different
Raph.
Did you hang up the other call?
Rafi.
He's coming. Hold on. He's trying to figure it out now.
I'm trying to.
I gotta.
Yeah, it normally takes us a little to join on one of the things, but there's nothing here tonight. So Mark's bringing us in, or Roger's bringing us in, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean, right.
There's Rafi.
There we go.
We're
He's
still
in.
missing Jason.
Jason is.
It says it's still calling them.
Oh, he was just in chat. He was trying to get in, and he kept on taking him to chat.
10, 15 minutes ago.
What about Jihan?
Yeah, I'm trying to bring him in too. I don't know.
There's Jason.
Check.
Hey,
There's
Jason.
Jason.
There you
There
are,
he is.
Jason.
About
Hey,
time.
Jason got
Good
on.
God,
Hello.
that was annoying.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's been rough. I think it's just because of the number of folks we
Hey,
had
hey, hey.
yesterday.
Hey,
With
Jason.
Microsoft, everything was fine until they
Okay.
switched.
Yeah, you're
Well,
darn
I'm
right.
gonna listen. I'm gonna say something that yesterday in the Red Sea, some massive, massive subterranean cables were snipped, and it took out YouTube yesterday. It took out a lot of different networks, and they didn't attribute it to that. I'm like, oh yeah, no, the timing was impeccable. Yeah, it was the cable. And
Yeah.
I even mentioned to somebody, it's quite interesting that many services went down simultaneously based off of one little area of the Red Sea, right off the area where Israel is. I said, and that tells you that there are some major hubs to some major services that most of us were not aware of.
All right, we got
So-
30 seconds and then we're back. All right.
Okay.
So we don't get too
Oh, there's
far.
Roger. Roger's still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. Did
Roger
did
better
Raph-
be here. He's the freaking
Did
host.
Jahan get in? Jahan, are
No.
you here?
Not yet. It's still
No, I
calling
think
him.
he's in the other chat.
Yeah.
I feel like a school
Anyways,
teacher on a field trip,
here's
rounding
your
everybody up.
countdown. 3, 2, 1. Roger, you're live and on the air right now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are going into part 2 of the stream tonight. Now, this is going to be the point where we're going to step it up a little bit more. We also have a new guest that came in with us, and that is Jason Quigley. So before we get on to the next part of what I want to be discussing, I want to have him kind of give his background and tell everybody a little bit about himself. But I also want to move on to the next phase of it, where I ask the panel members to kind of go over some past episodes, past experiences that they've had with Cafe Enigma that they really enjoyed in the past. So before we get to that, though, we're going to give MC Dirty Work the floor and let him tell everybody a little bit about himself.
All right. Well, first of all, good evening, everybody. I hope everybody's well.
Hello.
Yeah, what's to tell, right? I was minding my own business, being a musician, going through life, and I was doing work, putting music work up to YouTube, and I saw something on architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth, and quite frankly, I had to see how these folks who seemed so very sane on any other given day could be so insane today, obviously, because I had to be, And long story short, because back then, they didn't have the censorship at YouTube like they have today. And you could really, not only if you knew where to look, but YouTube would actually dump it right in your recommendeds. I mean, you could look up things on Sandy Hook. You looked at one thing and they would dump 10 more things that would be just as useful, if not more, than the last. It was thank you, YouTube, by the way. But right. So like, long story short, when I was about 37 years old, that's like 9 years ago, I found out that 9/11 was anything other than what I thought it was, and I had to know what else I was lied to about. And it didn't take more than a year for me to find out I was lied to pretty much about most of history, as it was taught, going way, way back. So it got under my skin something fierce. And basically, that was 2017. I kept my research up. In 2020, I started live streaming at DLive. Before then, I was uploading to YouTube. I was a presence there, and just trying to get the information out, especially this time of year. I'll be live streaming from the WTC on 9/11. I'm going to try to get there real early so I can show you guys just how bad it is in terms of them making you show papers that you're related to somebody who died just to get into the fountains on a day when everybody should be able to go and pay their respects. So yeah, this is definitely a busy time of year. And it's of course not just 9/11. It's like I said, that was just what set it off. I figured I was 21 years old when 9/11 happened. I figured, all right, we let this happen. Yeah, it was hijackers. Yeah, they hate mom. They hate apple pie. They hate baseball. They have to take most of our freedom. That way they don't have to take it all. And I believed that, but I did not believe that we did it ourselves. I didn't believe it was a quote unquote inside job. And I was wrong. And that just kind of led to where I am today. Just hollering at anybody that'll listen that we're all slaves and it's not to be had. Yeah, I don't have children, but if I did, my God, I would not want them living in a world where they're slaves and they don't know it. So that's me.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Now, with that being said, this comes to the veterans here of the show. I want to ask if you guys could possibly discuss some more of your experiences when it comes to the show. Now, we could have Mark sit here and rattle off a whole bunch of stuff because I know he's got a lot of experiences. But I want to hear, because I haven't been able to hear much from him lately. It's Dave Capione. Dave, can you tell us a little bit about some of the great experiences that you've had when it comes to being on this show and the things that you remember that you liked about Cafe Enigma, if you could.
Yeah, well, Mark brought me in, and because I asked him, I told him what my background was on flying saucers. I'm a photographer by trade, and 50 years. 50 years plus, whatever. Now I'm doing all wildlife now. Used to do all commercial work, and that's how I got involved with the CIA crap that back in the early 70s. But anyway, there was Mark had a young lady I believe she was from Chicago named Jane Rodriguez, and she was pretty good. She always had her videos on, and she had her show with the Cafe Enigma. And I don't know whatever happened to her, or what maybe she wound up getting a gig and propelled herself in a different opportunity or a higher opportunity. And one of the really super people was I think he was from Milwaukee, Mark Watashek. It was a rabbi, and I don't recall his last name, but he was really good. And I know he got Sid. Yeah.
Rabbi Sid Weingard.
Yeah, he got sick, right? And did he pass on? I don't even know.
No, he's still around, but you don't see him too much doing stuff anymore. And then he moved, and now he has a congregation. I think his congregation is actually up in Chicago area or someplace like that. Jane was actually, I think she was from like the Four Corners area, because
was she?
Yeah, she was originally brought to me.
JC?
And she was a panelist first through JC Johnson. Yeah. The most
Bigfoot researcher.
I would say he was probably one of the greatest cryptozoologists I've ever had on and that I've had folks on like Ken Gerhard, Jack Carey, who's still a host. He has his own show through me now. It's like, and Lyle Blackburn. I mean, I've had lots of great people on. And
you even had Lee Triana Brown, who had Family International, which you produced.
Yeah, Family Spirit International. Yeah. But before that, it was Family Spirit. I produced for her, and then after a while we parted ways. So
Yeah, well, she went on to bigger and better things, but she had the opportunity here, and that's what Dragus Productions has helped some people. I mean, there are probably people been on and we don't even know about that. They excelled in their craft or whatever, or their knowledge, and they're doing other things. And I mean, you got Jack on here, and he was a Bigfoot researcher with J.C. Johnson, and J.C. used to be on Coast to Coast AM. Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell or George Norrie. I don't even know how
both of
far
them. Yeah, both of them.
Both of them.
And then Jack done the same thing and then worked with
Yeah.
Diet. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was with the Discovery Channel, wasn't he, Jack?
He did some stuff with Learning
for
Channel
a little
and
bit.
Gaia TV.
Oh,
I
okay.
Yeah,
believe.
he did.
Okay.
He had his own show on Gaia. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was Discovery, but doesn't matter. But I know Lee went on to, I think she did Discovery Channel for, was it ghost hunting or something? That Roger, I don't know if you know this, but there was a lot of shows on ghost hunting, and I'm sure Nancy led a lot of people, and I don't know where they went to, but that was always a good thing, and they were always talking about the different places that they were going to go, and with the equipment and record the ghost and whatever they do. I've never been on anything like that myself.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm afraid. I just never had the opportunity. I'm too busy. I can only do so much. I can only wear so many hats. And I'm trying to think of some of the other people that Mark has had on Dragus Production, through Cafe Enigma, including Nancy. Well, Nancy popped in and out, and then there was Big D up in where the heck was he? Up in Georgia, Franklin, Georgia. Yeah, Big D. And he was the new Cafe Enigma. And I think that's what started a few years ago. And I was on on Big D's show for a while, and now we got Roger, and now he's got his own show, and Nancy's back on with her own show, and who knows where all this is going to go. I mean, it just keeps excelling and accelerating with the different panelists, and then they got their own show, and I think that's a tribute to Mark Witashik, because he's such he knows what he's doing, and sometimes when on Facebook I get these private messages and it lists all the platforms that he's on, and I'm going, where are these coming from? I didn't even know it, but he knows it all, and or knows a lot of it, and as Mark had said earlier, he was getting tired of hosting the show by himself, and he needed hosts. So here you are, Roger. Now you're in the new seat, and I'm sure it's going to be a great show. Yep, I am.
I'm gonna do my best, but I don't know if I can. I will do my best though to do that. But before I start hosting and stuff, I wanna pass the buck on to Nancy, because Nancy is an old dog when it comes to this, and I got to listen to some of your older archive stuff, dude, and I loved it. She was like this young, excited female getting out there, freaking gonna spread the message and stuff, and I'm like, wow, dude, and she's all excited and everything. So I
love it.
I wanna hear it from her mouth what it was like back when she first started getting involved in all this stuff.
Well, okay, so my experience evolved through my relationships back in the mid to late 90s. I was friends with Jason Hawes from Ghost Hunters. We had connections basically through the paranormal community. And Jason, I knew at that time, was actually one of the producers. He and Grant were actually producers of the show Fear on MTV, which a lot of people don't know. That is in their previous history. And Fear was one of my favorite shows because it put people in god-awful situations that scared the absolute piss out of them, which I thought was funny because to me, if you don't take the time to understand the phenomena, you just let things startle you. You're really not going to have a very productive life as you get older. It's you don't just. To me, it was always a mystery to solve. Like, to me, the paranormal is a riddle, and it's a riddle of nature and a riddle of the universe, and one that I am hell-bent on trying to solve. That has been pretty much my life quest. Well, when Jay and Grant got approached by Pilgrim Films, which is the NBC network, to do the show Ghost Hunters, they had asked me if I would come on board and build their forums for the show, and then also their IRC-based chat, which I did. Now, you have to imagine forums, that's one thing. Building and running an IRC chat is a totally different ballgame, totally different animal. And I had no idea what the heck I was doing when I first got on. I mean, I was like, holy thumbs, Batman. So I became very familiar very quickly with people I could tell had experience, and they actually taught me how to code the chats in the IRC, which is basic HTML coding. I learned the laws. I learned, like, legally, I had any given day in the Ghost Hunters chat, you could have anywhere from 3,000 to 40,000 people. It just depended on what was going on. If it was a show night, you could guarantee at least 30 to 40,000 people were going to come through that chat. I had 50 volunteer moderators on that chat that never got paid a dime and devoted literally 24 hours a day to monitoring that chat. That chat was open for almost 9 years. I actually moved away from the show Ghost Hunters because, to me, it became too Hollywood. It was less about science, less about understanding, and more about I guess you could say, the gotcha moments in the film industry. And I really did not like that, because, to me, understanding the phenomena environmentally that goes on around you is a huge part of the equation. But in the interim, I was asked to come. TAPS started a radio network. It was called TFR, TAPS Family Radio. And I was asked to come on initially as a program director, because for some reason, everybody liked me. Like, I had contacts everywhere within, I don't know, 6 months of owning that chat. I was familiar with Johnny Zaffis, everybody on the show. I mean, some really big names in the entertainment industry, including, oh, good Lord, I can't believe I just mind blanked on his name. One of the oldest people in the paranormal, we used to call him the grandpappy of the paranormal, passed on. He's got a daughter, Catherine, who's currently involved. Not Don Ecker. I can hear Raphael yelling in the other room. Don came a little bit later. But, I mean, literally, I was very, very gifted with, I guess you could say, the ability to make people feel comfortable. And so we had one night on TFR where one of the hosts couldn't make it, and I got asked to fill in. And I apparently did a great job, because I became permanent. When I decided to walk away from Ghost Hunters, I decided I was going to do my own show. And I named it The Vixen's Vault, because my nickname online since 1997 has been Wiccan Vixen. So The Vixen's Vault started. Now, I began on a network called Sepia. And Sepia was owned by mutual friends of Mark and I. I think they were out of the Carolinas, if I remember right. But pretty broad network, very large at that time, very large in the paranormal community. Both Mark and I were with Sepia. And I'm not sure what happened, but we separated from Sepia. If I remember correctly, it had something to do with a guest, but we separated and Mark started Dragus.
No, actually, when I left Sepia, well, I was asked to leave.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there, Mark.
Hey, wonder why.
That's no information you didn't need to get into.
But I had been on actually, to start the background of that before where Nancy began with it is Eric and I used to host shows on a station that was a CBS affiliate called the Para X.
Yep.
And he and I became good friends. And we had another friend there too that had a station after Para X went under different management and dropped a bunch of shows, ours included. And when we did that, I went to TMV Cafe.
Yep.
And I was with Be More Radio.
Oh
And
God,
then
that's right.
and I was with Be More Radio for about 4 or 5 years before Ray Meserol passed away.
Yep.
And Ray was my my guiding light with radio. And one day, if we'll get to it when we have a lot more time than this, because we're coming up on break, I'll do an interview about me and Ray.
Cool.
Because it could take about a good show to do.
Wait,
How I learned radio from Ray Meserol.
So hold on to
So-
that for a second, okay, Mark? And we'll go ahead and take a break and come back. And I'm really happy with tonight because I didn't have to say very much at all. I could just sit back, and I'm taking credit for this. Isn't this awesome?
You'll find that when you do this show, the less the host or moderator talks, the more rewarding it is.
And that's something too. When we come back, I do want to talk about the future format of the show, and I want a take from you guys on how you think it would be a good idea to do the shows in the future, because I do want feedback from everybody who's been a part of this from the beginning. So with that, I'm gonna shut up now, and I'm going to let Mark take us out to break. Sound good, guys?
Sounds
Already
great.
done. We're on break right now.
Okay, good. No.
All right, we are on radio break. Yes, we
And
got 5 minutes.
Hey, Nancy, because Roger wants some information on where the show goes. You know, we got stuff coming that's in our solar system right now, and they don't know what the hell it is.
Mhm.
Oh, I know. You're talking about 30i Atlas.
Yeah,
3i
absolutely.
Atlas.
And then I just read an article before we went on the show tonight. It was about 7:00 tonight, and they were saying that now they're expecting the Republican Congresswoman from Florida named Luna. I forget
Yep.
her first name.
Anna Paula Luna. Yep.
Anna Paul Luna and Avi Lowe from Harvard, and now they're worrying about, as it passes the sun and when it comes on to the other side of the sun, the end of October, they're worried about drones or maybe they're going to bombard this planet or something. I mean, come on, give me a break. First it wasn't a comet, now it's a comet all of a sudden, and then they're back to a spacecraft, and then you got the nemesis that's coming in, the dwarf sun dragging Nibiru. That's what they call it, and I forget what the Nibiru, and I forget what they call the other planet that they're dragging along, and that's supposed to cross over the elliptical solar, where we go around, revolve around the sun, and this is supposed to cross over and not be part of that. So who knows what's going to go on? And I think that would be neat to find somebody who's really onto this with astronomy.
3i Atlas
3i
is
Atlas.
it's a very okay, so every time they come up with a new image of it, there's something else that shows us that this is not natural. I mean, the latest one was the tail, the quote unquote tail.
Yeah, right.
Is in the wrong direction.
Yep.
So it's opposite of the way the comet's moving. It's on the wrong side.
That's right. It's coming at us.
And it's funny because I think I've mentioned it on the vault multiple times now, where I've listen, guys, holy blue beam event, because if you were going to pull a blue beam, this is the way you'd set it up. You scare the snot out of people. You push it. Oh, this is it. In the meantime, we have this drone technology that is capable of doing holographic imagery that would 1,000% fool most of the planet's population that aren't aware of what blue beam is. So
I was like, the fact that Paulina Luna was talking about the drones, I'm like, oh, they are going to pull a blue beam. Oh,
Yeah.
idiots. Those idiots.
This is what I brought up on Wednesday on the Volt. That well, first of all, they were saying there's about 0.005% chance that this thing is a comet or any type of natural phenomena, but that it's coming in on the elliptical, like it's diving down the way our solar system is supposed to be flat like a record, and it's supposed to come down and scoop past every planet and then, like you said, zip behind the sun and whatever. And what I find even more interesting is Oumuamua, that other one that came before this. That means Scout. So you're telling me that thing's coming to Scout before this 3i Atlas thing's coming through, and this is like a month and a half ago?
Yep,
If
that's
you
what
take
Avi Lowe said
Oumuamua,
too. And
here's the
Jack
fun
Perry,
thing.
I wish Jack was in here tonight too, because he would have mentioned that as well.
Here's the fun thing. If you take Oumuamua, the photograph of Oumuamua that they've got, and you flip it to where it's vertical, go look at that, take that picture, and then go look at the picture of the Black Knight.
Okay, we're less than 30 seconds back.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Black Knight, and that the Black Knight's in the orbit.
Remember, Roger, we have up until the 5-minute mark.
Up until
our polars. It's not an equatorial.
All right, and here's your countdown: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Roger, you are live and back on the radio side right now.
All right, and thank you, Mark, for letting us come back in here and get the show back on the road. Now, one thing I want to do that I actually forgot to do, and actually I'm glad that Mark and Nancy kind of got into it. I wanted to actually mention J.C. Johnson too, and and say, you know, that whenever he passed away, I think one of the most amazing radio shows that I've seen or heard that Dragus Productions did was their dedication to him whenever he passed away. I was able to listen to it a few nights ago, and it was probably one of the most emotional radio shows or any kind of stream period that I've ever heard, to be honest. I've heard a lot of people say a lot of great things about him, and because of what I heard there and what I've heard everybody talk about, I think that it's only proper for our beginning of this new area with Cafe Enigma that we give recognition to J.C. Johnson. And if any of you guys who knew him wish to say something that you would like to say about JC, I'd really love to hear it. And I'm pretty sure it'd be a good thing to have on the episode too. So,
well, I mean, I knew JC and so did Mark. I don't know about anybody else on the panel because he kind of preceded Dave might. Because he kind of preceded a lot of the people here, and he was one of us. He was like an OG, an OD, you know, one of the oldest in the paranormal. He was OG to us. So in other words, we're OG now. He was our OG. He was probably he was a pioneer, and that's the best way to describe JC. And he was kind of fearless. Like, he went after things that, you know, when it came to being I guess you could say, somebody who delved into the paranormal for many, many, many years. What y'all don't understand is that it was not something that was looked at nicely by society at all. Didn't matter how scientific you were about it. Didn't matter how you wanted. You got hated from all angles, whether it be the religious angles because you're flirting with Satan, whether it be the scientific community because it's unproven, or, I mean, literally, you just got hit from every direction. JC could weather that like a surfer in a tube, like perfect, just angled it every time perfectly.
Information was always spot on. He was funny, enigmatic in a lot of ways. I had a lot of respect for him. And I know Mark had a tremendous amount of respect for him. So it was a real hit when we lost him. And I think it kind of brought all of our mortalities front and center. And that's kind of what happens when you lose somebody you know pretty well. It's kind of like when the Constantines died. That hit home. I knew them. Wasn't surprised by the circumstances, but I knew them. And it hit home because these are people we worked with, we knew, respected usually to some degree. So that was my take. I mean, JC, you could bring JC on a program and he'd just let him go, let him off his leash. I mean, he was like Don Ecker. Don Ecker is the same way. Bring Don Ecker on a show, let him off his leash. They'll you talk about a host not having to talk. They would keep you wrapped in whatever research they were into at that moment, just without, and it seemed like 2 hours would just blow by in 2 seconds. It's just amazing experiences. You learned a tremendous amount. And you learned to, I think JC kind of also taught us in many ways how to deal with the pressures of being in a field that in many respects is still to this day unproven. Even the conspiracies. Why is it called a conspiracy theory? Because it's theoretical. You don't really have anything solid until you do. Even the paranormal is now we're starting to see a lot of things that people experience be justified within quantum physics. But even quantum physics is theoretical. So it's kind of a circle jerk. You just keep kind of going around and around and around. JC gave a little bit of legitimacy in a time where that was really hard to do. So I full respect for the man. I still miss him. I know Mark misses him because we talk about him every once in a while. It's always with sadness. It's sad. Then that's sad in itself because I don't think he'd want that. But yeah, he was a great man. He was a great man.
And another one with a similar background, and I'll miss her too, was Linda Godfrey. Linda did lots of shows with us as well, and me. And JC passed before her, but she was like queen of cryptozoology for years. She wrote The Beast of Bray Road. Did so many books on Bigfoot, Dogman, and had so much research. It was great having her in as the lead when I did like Queens of the of Cryptozoology. Had her lead, and Mary Sutherland was there, and we had Jane at the time too, and I can't. We had Missy Hill was even part of that.
Yep.
And I'll have to look up Missy Hill. Huh?
Do you remember when we had Sin on?
Yeah, on your show. I don't think I could never get her in on mine.
I thought she did do an Enigma though, because
she might have. If she did, oh yeah, yes, she did. I think it was when we were talking about or doing like the Halloween special or something like that, or we were talking about cults and things like that.
Yeah,
cults. Yeah, because I think it was what was it? The George. What was it? The guy that killed everybody. He was a preacher down in South America.
Oh yeah.
Jim Jones.
Jim Jones. Yeah, we did a show on Jim Jones, and I think she was one. And the scary part about having Sin Jones on is she sounds so much like Nancy. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it's hard to tell them apart unless you see them light up on Skype, or at the time it was Skype, or now it's Teams. So.
Well, it was funny too because Sin and I had a lot of, to give you all some perspective, Sin Jones is a Satanist. And I always warn people because again, I'm in the occult communities. I may not be a Wiccan as you think of it, but I am a pagan. I am what they would call a witch. And I am in those communities, very deeply in those communities. And I mean, I knew what sin was. And one of the things I kept saying, like my prelude when I brought her on the first time to Mark was, you got to be really careful with Satanists, especially true Satanists, because I have yet to meet a stupid one. I mean, and we're talking intelligence to a level it's hard to grasp sometimes.
She was, and not only that, she wore lots of hats as well.
Yes.
Because she was the high priestess, and she probably still is, of Cthulhu here in the States, the high priestess. And that is the highest you can go in that. So, because the male is the lower part of that.
I think the stories of Cthulhu also kind of, that gives you an introspect to the thought process that a lot of the myths, a lot of the, like that was, I think, Lovelace. That was, I mean, a lot of what's written.
Lovecraft.
And Lovecraft, there we go. Lovelace. Hello. A lot of what was written, we read it as mythology. And you don't know if it was based off truth. There were so many very strange things that surrounded that entire story if you actually read into it and research it. I mean,
that was the show. That was actually the show that she was on then.
It was a great show.
I'll have to look it back up. Yeah. Maybe she was on both of them, but I'm pretty sure that she was on the Lovecraft because I did a show about Lovecraft, and I did a show about Edgar Allan Poe, and Mary Shelley, I think, too, a while back. Yeah, I mean, 10 years, you cover a lot of different topics.
Yep. I mean, and the thing is again, what you have to understand with like sin is sin will take the counter side of whatever you're talking about just to be a nudge, and she can like defend it brilliantly. Just to be a pain in the ass. Oh yeah. But I mean, she was one of the, in fact, she is the absolute only guest I've ever had on one of my show who vehemently defended Adolf Hitler. Do you remember that, Mark? I was just like, where do I go with this?
And minor attracted persons.
And minor attracted persons.
Yeah, well, I was the whole time I was looking for the kill switch, but I'm like, man, this is good. I'm looking for the kill switch. This is good because
she had logical arguments.
That's the logical arguments. Like, the way she presented her arguments was really sound. All right. Yes. And scary, but sound. All right. Yep. So, and
I hate admitting it now.
But
looking back,
Mark, at the same point, she could have said, by the way, that's wrong. And we're going to go and we're going to talk about Genghis Khan instead. And she would have been right in on with that. But when she did topics, and we had folks who could do so many different kind of topics and flip like that, and because they knew the information in and out, and and it was great for the folks who didn't know or even had a little bit of knowledge about it, because it's insightful. And
I think
the whole premise of the show is educational.
Yep. Well, the thing is I think back now to some of the marks she hit on that particular discussion, and she was saying, this was us, this was the United States, we blame him, but he was one of ours, and as per, he ended up in Argentina because we hit him, and I remember arguing it with her, and now come to find out, oh yeah, wait, she was probably right. Oops. But I think our falling out came at the very end of that show when the topic became abortion, and she's like pro-abortion all the way up to almost 3 years of age, which is not abortion anymore. It's not even abortion at that point.
The flare-up point was the minor attracted persons argument. She apparently did counseling for them, or
that's
group
right,
therapy with them.
Yeah. She sounded like the TED Talk on that. I remember that.
Yeah, there was just no way to get me on board with that one.
Yeah, right. But my kill switch was obviously, I was like, listen, I'm not here to tell any woman to do what anything with their body, but on a personal level, I can't condone it. I will not condone it. Well, you're a pagan. That was the argument. You're a pagan. Yeah, that means I respect all life, even if it's just a flash in a mother's womb. I respect it, and I think it should be nurtured. I don't think we have the right to terminate. It's not our call. If nature thinks it's not going to make it, nature will terminate. So that was where she and I really bonked heads. And that was like the last time I had her on the air, because she wouldn't back down. I wouldn't back down. I still respect, like I said, I respect her for her opinion, but I wasn't going to agree with it. So that was the Sin Jones interview. That was probably one of the most memorable, even though she was unknown, which was crazy because we had so many really, really famous people on the show. And Sin literally was like one of the most relatively unknown people, but incredibly good at interviews.
But think about it, though. Sin brought me people like Corvus.
Yep.
Corvus Nocturne. Wow. Okay. And he's a practicing vampire. All right. Yep. And he's produced movies and written scripts and things like that. Corvus is well known. He doesn't go. He probably still goes as that, but he usually uses his real name for like stuff like other places that you can't use an alias.
At full disclosure. He was literally at full disclosure. He was at full disclosure. He was at Brian's event.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and I really like him, And you need to, and when you start talking about vampires and like the moon and that, get Corvus or have me reach out, or Nancy reach out to Corvus. Great guy, and he's so insightful about a lot of that because that's part of him. All right.
Yep. Like I said, they may have strange alter opinions, but the shows that Mark puts out there allows for us to explore that. Mm-hmm. And usually without judgment. Like I said, I had my one line with Sin, but normally I don't judge. Your opinion's your opinion. I'm not here to change it. I want to hear it. Yeah. And you may actually change my opinion if you're logical enough. Just depends.
But problem is with someone like her, she tries to push her opinion on you too at times. But you have to be careful with folks like that, even if they are intelligent, have all the knowledge, a lot of the knowledge and the know-how, as well as being practicing or doing it. You still have to watch where you step.
I mean, we had Peter Robbins, and we talked about Rendlesham Forest and the event that happened out there, Bentwaters. That's over by you, Mark Edworthy. And that was that event.
And I actually got Peter out of his comfort zone on one Cafe Enigma, and David was in there too. And I had him talking about paintings. I'm not sure which painter it was, but he really didn't want to talk about it. And I'm like, look, I said, everybody knows you for the UFO stuff, but you are so much more than that. Mm-hmm. And I talked him into it. He did it. He did it, and he said, don't ever have me do that again. And I said, I won't, but thank you. I really appreciate you doing the show on it, because I didn't know anybody else who had a background in art that could do that and give me that information.
You know who does? Actually, you have a host that has a background in art. That's Jack.
Now I do, but then I didn't.
Which
Jack was kind of in the background yet, and he did at that time he was doing more field work than he's doing right now. And now he's into homesteading and his art, and he's still doing his paranormal and his investigations, but he's taking it as a lead director type investigator instead of like the field man.
It's funny because
since we're coming up at the end of the thing, that is something that I do want to kind of discuss with you guys, because like moving forward, especially now that since we've got everybody here, you know what I mean? Nancy has had extensive experience at this show, not only from the original one but the reboost. And I, Jaffe, Dave, and Vicky, all of us, we've been involved in it in some way. And what I want to actually do before we end this episode is kind of get your guys' take on where you feel that this would be a great way to go, because like we're going to go according to the original format, where we do the clip beforehand, we introduce everybody, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up to the panel and let the panel just take control. And if it gets out of hand, I can moderate, or if we run out of people who are talking, I can have talking points to kind of get the conversation going. But other than that, I want to know what your guys' take on it. Where do you think from this point on it should go besides that? You know what I mean?
Well, I think, if you're going to do, say, an episode of the Enigma, and you're including like, okay, the anomalies Dave and I were talking about on break, do something along those lines. Look around. You can ask me. I can do it because I have contacts. You could ask any one of us who have contacts. Look around. Find yourself an astronaut. Find yourself somebody who has got experience in that area, that is willing to talk and willing to go outside the box a little bit, because that's where it's a little bit of a twist. A lot of them are under NDAs. A lot of them are under a lot of very strict paperwork that won't allow them to speak. But you're going to find a diamond in the rough. It happens. Like I have Wilbur Allen. Wilbur Allen, God love the man. I mean, he did some insane interviews with me. He was actually an engineer on Air Force One for 2 different presidents. He was a military brat. He was CIA at one point. He has a doctorate in Hubble technology. Guy is just as experienced as it comes. He's filmed things, what he believes is Solar Warden out in Sedona. I mean, it had Raphael freaking enraptured because of the evidence he's compiled. People like that, those are the people you want to get on to your panel. I mean, people like me, yeah, we're great, but I'm an OG, like I said, I'm an old dog. I don't have the level of experience Wilbur would have when it comes to astrophysics. That's his specialty, and he's willing to talk. He will go outside that box. He will go down that rabbit hole with you. That is what you want. Somebody's going to take your hand like Alice with the rabbit, and down the rabbit hole you go. Because that's what keeps listeners on. That's what keeps them coming back. So that would be my advice. Try to angle your topics and then find just one person that's different on the panel that follows that topic line.
Oh, I got that. I've got Vicky. I'm gonna start talking about Satan and doing satanic rituals and just get her all riled up.
I think
Ready to Hulk out. don't you?
I think a good thing that worked for me and will work again is you need to come up with a theme, a monthly theme that'll go anywhere between 4 and 6 weeks. Okay. And stick to that. They can go in an order or not. You pick them and you send me the clips and that, and we can do them that way. And then going back to we do have Jack, and Jack already expressed to me, yeah, let's do at least a quarterly. I know doing more than a quarterly for cryptozoology, you're going to get bogged down, and you'll lose a lot of information. But if you do quarterly ones, you can theme each one as like aquatic, aerial,
sounds good,
Terran base, and things like that, which will make this a big success.
Okay, so we have come to 2 minutes before the end of the show, and before we end the show, I would like to go around and have everybody give their socials so that the viewers know where they can reach you. Since we had Sonia sitting in the back being quiet, how about you go first, Sonia Galactic, and we'll go around the room and get everybody to give their socials. What do you think?
Sure, sounds cool. You can find me at galacticfire.com. There's a contact page on there. Or, you know, I'm on Facebook nowadays, although it's not Sonia Galactic on there, but that's okay. In any case, yeah, so there's that, you know, for my contact. Thanks, Raj.
No problem. How about you, Miss Vicky Voss?
You can find me on Telegram for such a time as this. That's my channel, and on X at Booklander62.
And what about you, David Capione?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook under David Champ and look at some of my wonderful nature photos and even Goliath. I have Goliath on there. He's a big alligator, 14 feet, 800 pounds, more than 800 pounds. But nobody's measured him and nobody's lifted him. And also under David Campione on Amazon.com, you can find my UFO spacecraft identification manual and in there is one of the pages on how to contact a spacecraft.
And
Next.
how about you, Mark Edworthy?
I'm mainly on Minds.com under the username Medworthy.
Okay, okay. And Nancy Planeta, can you give us your socials so where people know how to get in
I was
touch
going to
with
say,
you?
every time you say, give me your social, my hacker mind goes, no. Seriously. But you guys can find me on Telegram as Wiccan Vixen. On X, you can find me as Rider on the Storm. And on Facebook, you can find me as Nancy Planeta or Wiccan Vixen. Either one will pull up my account. I'm also on TikTok now as Wiccan Vixen, but I don't have an active account. I'm there just to peruse.
Okay.
Jason Quigley.
There you go,
Yes,
Jason.
yes. You can find me, MC Dirty Work, D Live, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Eastern Standard. And this Thursday from New York City, I'll be streaming on and off D Live all day, all morning, and all afternoon long. YouTube as well under Truth VJ MC Dirty Work. That's at YouTube. And that's this 9/11, this Thursday, on and off all day.
All right. And how about you, Rafael Martinez?
You can find me on Twitter at X_ICE_1811.
Excellent. And with all of that being said, I'd like to ask that if you like the show, please like, subscribe, share, make comments down in the comment section, guys. It's the most important thing you can do for this show. If you can't help with financial support, it doesn't matter because you can support us with a comment in the comment section, have a conversation with us, and let us get to know you. With that, I think we have covered pretty much enough, haven't we? We are good to go according to my producer, and it feels so good saying that, dude. Like I was able to say that today in a chat, and I was like, dude, I've got a producer. That is so freaking cool.
Take us out, Roger.
So with that, we are going to bring the show to a close. Thank you guys for showing up and being a part of the panel. Thanks to the viewers for watching, and I do want to let everybody know that next week's episode is going to have a topic, and that topic is going to be the Siberian Fireball. So if you want to come back, you are very welcome to do it. I'd love to have Nancy and Nancy.
Glad to do that. I was going to say, glad to do. That's Tunduska. That is a cool thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
let's go, Roger.
That's what we got, and we will talk to you later, guys. Have a good night, and we're done.
Good night.
All right. we're off air on the radio side, and I'm going to bring this back up if you guys want to stick around for an after show. And we'll stay in the same room. I'll just hang up here in a minute. Just give me a few minutes to take and get this all set up so that I can do that. All right.
You know, Roger, Tunduska, there's a lot of scuttlebutt about that was actually an EMP from an actual nuclear event. Even though they told us that the nuclear bomb was not developed until the 1940s, yeah, there's a lot of evidence that says that was not what they said.
You know, you mentioned things too in your show that you never get the chance to bring up, and it's like when you start talking about that ionosphere, and you start talking about Operation Bluebeam. Okay.
Yeah.
Every single time you talk about that stuff when it comes to that, because you brought the topic up at least 3 times, I know.
Yep.
And
it's hard to stay on topic with it, but
yeah.
Dude, it's amazing if you look at what's happening right now versus what Serge Manasse warned us about and lost his life about.
If they were ever going to do it, now would be the time.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what we said
people
earlier.
Forget. Serge Manasse pretty much gave his life. He's like Phil Schneider. I mean, they tried to tell us, and he gave very, very, very descriptive, definitions of what was going to occur. And it's like, holy crap, it's all lined up exactly the way he said it would. And it's really sad that they would think that even though there's an awareness, I think that's why they work so hard to try to make us look like fools. They infiltrate us. They do so much that it's like, I said to somebody, it was like the Q movement, so many infiltrators to try to make it look completely ridiculous. But there was truth to what Serge Manasse was saying.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, and we do have the technologies. We've had holographic technology since the 40s, easily.
Well,
I mean,
look at HAARP, okay? When they talk about the effects that HAARP has on the ionosphere, where it can manipulate.
All right, before you go down that road, I'm going to hang up on everybody here so that we can restart this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to leave.
Huh?
Do we have to
leave?
Yep.
Yes.
Do like you did the last time. All right.
Okay.
All right. And I will re-ring you guys once again.
Okay, be patient. I am in the process of...
Right. The Cafe Enigma is back with Roger Hanson at the helm. That's right. Gonna take and call the folks back and get them back and going for the after show. There you are, Roger.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'm back. I'm back. Thanks,
back.
Mark. Yeah.
Nancy's back.
Jason.
Everybody's back. Good.
Mark
All right.
Edworthy. Sonya's back. Nancy.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
back. I'm gonna be muting for a little bit because I'm gonna eat in the middle, but I'm here.
Yeah. And it's calling. There's Vicky. All right.
There's
Yeah.
Vicky. Yeah.
But yeah, like...
Just a FYI, Raphael rejected you guys for, what are you playing, babe? Call of Duty.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
well,
my.
well, which part though? There's
Which one? Warzone.
Oh, Warzone. Well, okay. We're cool. That's all right. Just if he said Black Ops, then I'd be like, jeez. I mean, God.
Oh no, we've matured beyond Black Ops right now.
Okay, good.
Oh,
Well, it's got cool graphics. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? But it's not.
You kidding me? My grandsons harassed him all day on this game. He made the big mistake. I had two of my grandsons last night overnight, and they were on all different systems playing the game.
Mhm.
And literally, he made the really big mistake of giving them his phone number and his screen name. So they went home, and automatically his phone starts vibrating, the screen starts going, and literally all day long until the point where he actually blocked them. I can't even think right now.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh my God!" He goes, "They're relentless." And I said, "Well,
you're a male figure in their life that's taken an interest, and they look up to that, and they want to be. It's cool. Hey, we're playing with our grandpa. He's pretty good, but we can tell him that he needs to go here, and we can warn him when he's in danger. I was like, in a kid's mind, that's like huge.
Yeah.
So
I think
you could
that's the
tell-
Goose thing
you
would
would
be
know,
really cool.
Bro, watch your back, bro. I got you 6. Like literally, my 12-year-old grandson.
My nephews were never nice to me. I had a 6-year-old kid, my little nephew Tai Tai. Okay, they would let him play Modern Warfare. Okay, and this kid at 6 years old was killing me with a freaking survival knife.
That's my granddaughter. My granddaughter, like her brothers never let her get her turn. They're horrible to her. And she gets on there and she literally like slaughters everybody. She has no clue what she's doing. She's just hitting buttons and moving the trigger. And she's literally killing everybody. I mean, then she played Fortnite and she literally came in 4th place on Fortnite. You know why? She hid in a bush through the whole game.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah. My little niece, she was young, and they got that Grand Theft Auto, and she
that's a
kept
bad one.
she kept begging me to play that game with her, and they just let her play it, and I'm sitting there and I'm on there, and she's telling me to go and do this mission and do that mission, and I did it all, and I got all this money. And I went to the bathroom, and the moment I got out of the bathroom, I sat back down, and she had spent every single bit of the money that I got from these missions. And I said, "How did you do that so fast?" And she said that she went and got on a merry-go-round Ferris wheel, freaking, and paid for it. And she took all that money that I did, and she squandered it to go on a Ferris wheel in the game.
Okay. That happened to Raphael with Fortnite with my grandson Noah, where Raphael had built his skins. He had his character. He was like pimp to Mac on Fortnite, like undefeated. Da, 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 da. My grandson comes over and Raphael's working. He says, "Grandma, can I play Fortnite?" I was like, "Well, let me double check with Grandpa." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, that's fine. Da, 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 da. Sign him in," because we have passwords on everything because Noah's like the safe cracker. And literally, when Raphael got back and went to play the game the next day, I think he assumed that Noah was going to use his own character. Oh, no, Noah used his character. Raphael had like a treasure chest full of money that he bought. I mean, it was hysterical. Noah bought like this little UFO vehicle to fly around in, and Ruffy's like going through all his stuff, his equipment, going, "What the hell? Where's my money? Oh my God, why do I have a UFO?"
Yep.
It was, I was on the floor laughing because I'm not a gamer. I mean, I am into computers and technology. The only game I ever really truly enjoyed was Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And that was just because I had a blast laughing, and Mario Kart. And there was one for Sega called Hydro Thunder. I loved that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ralphie's definitely the gamer. My grandkids are definitely gamers. My daughter's a gamer, not me. I'm like, nope, got better things to do with my time.
Well, you guys know about me. I'm infamous. Like when infamous comes out of me, dude, something just takes hold. And
Not today, Satan.
no, it's not even Satan when it comes to infamous. Okay, now infamous, like he's a wild man, dude. Like you let infamous out and things go crazy, dude. I'm infamous OG 1973. You know what I mean?
Nice. Well, you can probably hear Raphael yelling at the TV right now.
Yeah, it's like I mean, it's just, and I'm talking about like even in conversations, like my gamer friends, they tell me to calm down, and the reason why is I get into like Rapid. I do retro games with him, okay, and he wants me to do all that Mario Brothers stuff, and I'm like, dude. What do you think I am? You think I'm a fool? I'm gonna sit around playing Mario Brothers and freaking he had me play this one game where there's little baby words in there where they have baby talk and stuff. And I was like, dude, I am not playing a freaking game about baby talk. Like these little babies.
Not Patapoon. Patapoon?
It sounds like it. Yeah.
Where you gotta, it's like a musical game. You gotta like, there's a cadence basically that you've got to do the buttons to. It's called Patapoon. It actually was really high rated, if that's the game. I mean, it's like 20-year-old game or whatever, but it sounds like that.
PewDiePie or something like that. Yeah, and he actually got me to where I actually played Pokemon, dude. Because I would not play Pokemon, and I played Pokemon Yellow.
Oh, wow.
And,
You know, do you remember Pokemon Go?
oh yeah.
Okay, so my son, as an adult, got really into Pokemon Go to the point where I actually smacked him in the head with his phone
Mm-hmm.
because he would drive me nuts. He'd come over and he'd be in my front yard with his phone sticking out. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Excuse my language. But one of the things I let him in on was you realize that it's a giant CIA, like,
Yep.
Venus flytrap,
right.
right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
The guy who actually wrote the program for Pokemon Go wrote the keyhole program for the satellite systems and GPS. So, yeah,
Yep.
you may want to not give that program your location.
Well,
Not so
I knew
much.
people that would drive around. I mean, good God, you got enough of a life that you own a car and you're whipping around Pokemon
Right?
Go for half the day. Wow.
yeah. Well, think about all the robberies. You were up there in New York, MC. How many reports did you guys have of people getting robbed in freaking parks because of that game?
Pokemon Go and geocaching. Geocaching is the other one where a lot of people got robbed.
Mm-hmm. They would.
If I remember wisely, there was it could still be going on actually. There was a court case in some European country because of data protection issues on Pokemon Go.
Yep.
I met a couple of
yeah.
Was it Marines? No, they were Air Force guys because I used to work right next to Travis Air Force Base at a tattoo shop there, and they came in. And dudes were like overwhelmed with this whole game thing. That's all they talked about. And this was right when I started really getting into the whole disclosure thing. So I had like a bunch of stuff up on my walls in my tattoo room and stuff. And I was like, yeah, man, I can't wait for disclosure. It's going to be rad. And they both like completely shut up. And I would talk about like silence. It was super awkward. Yeah. It's my
You know, it's
Pokemon
so
Go
interesting.
experience. Mm-hmm.
Sonia, it's so interesting because you had asked me if I wanted to have your friend on the show, which I am delighted to have him on.
Mhm.
And
Good.
I was telling you, you know, I'm kind of I've been sewn into that community in a big way with the Montauk survivors.
Yeah.
And one of them is actually very local to me. And I got to know him pretty well at the event. I like him a lot.
Oh, great.
But he was looking to, because his name is kind of starting to really catch on. He's been asked to several events. He goes, do you know anybody who's doing an event that might want me as a speaker? I'm trying to get the word
you're
out
talking
there.
about Draco. Yeah.
Yeah, Draco Reed.
Uh-huh.
I like Draco.
Yep. Yeah.
And so I was like, dude, I said, so up until COVID for like 5 years, I said, my show was hosted on a man named Russ Hoslodge's site. It was called Odyssey.
Okay.
I said, and Russ is actually the CEO and I guess you could say caretaker to Gene Roddenberry's charity foundation. He was actually a writer for the show Star Trek.
Okay.
And when Gene died, he left this foundation behind and Russ took it over with Gene's son. And so I said, he just announced literally yesterday that he's putting a convention together for September of 2026. And so I reached out to him knowing that Drago's looking for work or for platform.
Yeah.
And said, well, you know, Russ, did you ever think to integrate? Because here's the thing, a lot of these super soldiers and a lot of Trekkies believe that Star Trek is actually not a vision of the future, but a rendition of something that already occurred.
Yeah.
So I said, a lot of these super soldiers believe they are connected to not necessarily the Federation, but like Star Trek echoes a lot of their experiences. Do you ever think to bring a super soldier to a convention or a couple of them and have them speak as that realistic size? That I'm telling you, because that full disclosure thing is really
Wow.
catching on.
That's a great idea for
Mhm.
sure.
And Russ, that's what Russ said too. He goes, "Ooh," he goes, "So in other words, the fantasy versus the reality."
Wow, that is great. That is exactly actually what, sorry, I got excited. That's exactly what Christian talks about, because they make it all into this fantasy thing. Like his story's kind of, it's based on like the Stranger Things, you know?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So, and it was what really happened to him. So he gets frustrated sometimes because they make it into such a, the narrative's made into such a big, huge fantasy, this and that, and shit that didn't even happen.
Now,
So,
Well, it's done
Can,
on
can I
purpose. We
can
all know
I
that.
can I kind of butt in on that a little bit? Because I do want to, like, this is where I get to be all cool and stuff and say something. I honestly, and this is not being too proud about it, but I think I did the best interview with Chris Letier out of anybody I've ever heard. So if you ever get a chance to go through my interviews on Wow Talk, you can check it out. I mean, I did a very thorough 3 to 4 hour interview with him, okay? And if you just want to check out what he has to talk about, freaking check that out, because, I mean, it was well, Raph was there. Raph actually can tell you about it, too. He was there for some
Sweet.
of it. And,
Well, it's
Mr. Edworthy, too, but he doesn't like to talk about aliens and...
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
well, I can say that, like with Drago, Drago's still, you can see there's a lot of trauma there with him.
Mhm.
Like I was talking to him about Rocco Fowler, who, as we all know, was a fiasco on my show.
Oh, yeah.
And for several days after my show was a fiasco. And Drago got this look on his face. He goes, "Oh no." He goes, "You stay away from him." And he goes, he was one of, like, he goes, he was somebody who enjoyed it. Like he was in charge of some of the torturing and stuff like that. He goes, "Oh, I know who you're talking about. I remember him." And I'm like, I looked at him, I said, I actually believed his story. I said, which I told him many times, I believe you. I said, but he's one of these people where it's like he's trying to clean his soul, but his soul is so divided. I said, there was so much damage done to him. Like, I don't think somebody's born inherently evil. I don't think that's how that works. But I think that because of trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma, you can mutate a person. And I said, he's got this like split personality. I said, and he'll tell you that he has alters. And Drago's like, no, alters are real. I said, I agree with that, but I can also tell you that nothing ever is out of your control unless you let it be. I said, and that is the truth of it. You give into it, you allow it. I said, and I actually ended up having to block Rocco because he was threatening my life. And
oh my God,
some of the other girls from, full disclosure, Soma and Ada and different girls that were involved in the Montauk thing were telling me, he's really dangerous. You need to be careful. And I started laughing. And they're like, what? I said, you feed him all this power. Why? I wouldn't give him an ounce of my power. I said, I have no fear of him. And I told him that straight up. I have no fear of you. You think you have energy, buddy? I can run energy around you 50 times and not even
That's
want to play with
show
fire. Play with the old fire.
Right.
that was the show from last year. The one that
Mofo don't even know.
Yeah, the one that I missed out on. I remember having a conversation with Roger afterwards, and I saw the text on Skype, and Roger had a really sort of time with him himself. I actually deliberately missed that show because I felt there was something up. I felt I was quite uncomfortable, hence why I missed it. So yeah.
It's funny because he was as most of you guys who are on here probably know, Jason, I don't think you've been here long enough. Sonia, I don't know if you were in enough times to actually witness it, but there's one person in this chat that I am retardedly protective of, and that is Vicky. And he made the big mistake of going after Vicky. Yeah, that was his last mistake in my chat because I
Yeah.
won't have it.
I seen that in chat. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with Vic because Vic can stand on her own 2 feet. Believe me, she's quite the little tigress when she wants to be.
That's your girl. That's your girl.
That
you
she is
know?
my girl, and I
Mhm.
don't appreciate people
right.
taking advantage of the fact that she's a very good person and a very
Right.
nice person who's trying to help him.
Mhm.
Especially not in my chat room. I mean,
Exactly.
I just, dude, I said to Ralphie, there's very few things that'll make me see red. That shit will make me go red fast because I said I will stomp it right the hell into the ground and not
It
even
was
blink.
insanity. It was really insanity there. Hmm
He was.
Well, and he's like, I'm a hacker. I'm like, oh yeah, good luck with that. I mean, I can be a real bitch when I want to. So.
Chris is really excited to go on your show, Nancy. I just wanted to.
Oh,
let
I'd
you know
love
that.
to have him on.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah,
like I said,
he's looking
it's
forward to it.
I think it's so interesting. And I mean, again, I do have a personal connection to it. In fact, Drago freaked me out because I read his background story when I was talking to Russ. I'm like selling him to Russ. And Russ actually agreed with me. And I was like, listen, this guy died. He had a death experience. I said, and during his experience, I said, I freaked out when I talked. I've talked about it a million times on my shows, and you guys will know this. He saw what he called the grid, the universal energy that connects everything. And guys, what have I told you a million times? When I dream, I surf the grid. It is a grid. It's a field of energy. And it's like a spider web. I can't describe it, but I can tell you what it is. When I read that, I said to him, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I said, are you serious right now?
Well, you've heard of that 100th monkey, right? 100th monkey.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Where these monkeys, I just want to say real quick, if maybe somebody hasn't heard about it, these monkeys were on an island. There's no way that they could have taught the monkeys on the mainland this technique. They were washing their fruit off. They didn't like the sand on the fruit. They wanted the fruit, but they didn't like the sand so much. So they taught some of the younger monkeys how to do this. And the older monkeys, they weren't really feeling it at first. And then they caught on and they dug it. And like wildfire, the ones on the mainland started doing the exact same technique. And that's when scientists knew there's something to what Nancy's talking about with this grid, with possibly all different beings or whatever, or all the same grid for all the same beings.
Well, we're
In
inherently
fact, that
telepathic.
ties into the monks at the where they had the monkeys come in, and after the monkeys had watched them for so many years and so many generations, they started going into meditative trances too.
Yep.
Well,
Well, like I said, there's a truth to telepathy. And people can roll their eyes and do the circle jerk, whatever they want to do. There's a truth to it. And genetically speaking, we are set up to do it. And that's what I've always said. Your DNA, you need to look up how DNA is, how it's built, what it's comprised of. It actually is built. It's a superconductor. And it's like you can compare it to the designs of a superconductor. It's identical.
Well, I've been
And
talking
I'm like,
to you about the cosmic weave, man. I mean, that's it. I mean, and
that's the grid.
That's the grid, and it's like take a look at the freaking the oh god, I don't have a brain fart. The brain. I always talk about it all the time too. Not the cerebellum. It's the two freaking eggs in your head.
Pituitary gland?
Isn't that the cerebellum?
No, it's
Pons?
Or the
Okay,
limbic,
you've got,
limbic
okay,
system.
wait.
The
You've got
limbic system?
the cerebellum. No, it's
you have the
It's a limbic
pineal
system.
gland.
Prefrontal cortex.
You have
now I'm gonna have to. No,
We're all
Roger,
getting
are you talking about
Dig it out.
pineal?
no, it is connected to it. It's they're
The
two.
limbic system.
They're in the They're in the.
Primitive brain, lizard brain.
No, you're talking. You're getting
Well,
close.
I know the pineal, and again, people need to do some research on it before they assume it's oogie boogie. The pineal gland actually has cones. It has visual cones built into it. That's why it's called the third eye. And a lot of theories suggest that we were actually once three-eyed because of the pineal gland, because otherwise there's no explanation for why there would be visual cones in the middle of our brain.
It's
Now,
your
the
mind's
pineal-
eye.
That's where that expression came from. Your mind's eye is about the pineal, but it also is the seat of magnetite, which a lot of people don't know that either. What is magnetite? Well, magnetite is what allows migratory species to find the North Pole. It's what allows them to accurately navigate ley lines. Correct. The hypothalamus.
Yep.
Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's it. I had to pull it up, and that's exactly what it is. In the hippocampus, the weird part is like last night I was having this long drawn out conversation with Sonia, which she always does that to me. She tortures the hell out of me. And,
you love it. You love it.
Her and Janice, he kept talking about this stuff, and I was like, dude, I just like did 8 months of this crap, you know what I mean? I'm listening to him, and he brings up the hippocampus, and the only thing I freaking started thinking about was the stuff we were talking about right there. You know what I mean?
Jahan.
That's the thing.
He has a whole presentation on that.
Believe it or not, Roger and I have some pretty deep conversations.
Yeah.
We really do.
Yeah.
And they go in directions that most normal conversations do not. But it's not even, it's exploratory, but it's not exploratory because there is a lot of science and documentation behind what we're saying. It's just nobody connects the dots fully.
Yeah.
And I said, I think that's on purpose. They don't want us connecting the dots. They're afraid of people like us because we do connect the dots. And once the dots are connected, you begin to realize that what we envision as God, what we envision as a deity, is inside of us. And it communicates. It's literally, we are transcendental in so many ways. And we are literally, like I said, it makes sense because we are what you consider to be matter, what you can be considered to be solid. We are not solid. We were never solid. We are literally billions of oscillating particles held together. We are not solid. I mean, it's what explains your magnetic field. That's your magnetic field actually keeps those oscillating particles in place and gives us the form that is seen. It's a perception. And I said, if you don't believe me, look it up. Look it up. Ask if you ever actually touch an object. You don't. You actually never fully touch an object. Why? Because your magnetic field actually repels that object before you can actually make contact with it. And the fact is that literally it is your brain sending a message saying, oh, look, we've touched it. Let's go ahead and make the feely happen. Again, people don't believe me when I say this. I'm like, dude, no, it's science. It is like, this work has been done. It's been written down.
Before science changed into retardation.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But they did that on purpose. Again, I'm like, you wonder, it turned into retardation there. Why? Because now we're flooded with literally thousands of different frequencies from technology. What do you think that does to your body? Which is what? A bunch of oscillating particles.
I did an excellent episode of not Weird Science, but The Cut today because like I'm on a recap for my last episode of Weird Science, so I couldn't put this on there, so I went ahead and put it on The Cut. But all the stuff we were talking about the other day, man, and I had like 4 or 5 days to put something together, so I put it all together, man, and I did that today, dude, and it is so cool because I was talking about nanoparticles, I was talking about freaking wetware, And everybody's talking about AI and everything, and they don't really understand the implications of what's going on. They are
No.
creating a being.
Yep.
They are literally creating it by using wetware, intelligence from artificial intelligence. I don't like saying that because Mark gets mad at me. He starts talking crap and saying English words. You know?
British.
Yeah.
Let's be
British
specific.
English. Oh,
Yeah.
not the British English. Oh,
But,
swearing at you in British English.
But but nobody puts that together. And how many decades have they been trying to make the computer think like a human?
They have. That's been again. I know Mark rolls his eyes when I say it. You're talking 80, 90 years ago. They probably had that.
Mhm.
Again, I mean,
I
we are
always bring
so
up
far
the.
behind.
But I think
I
that's kind of a waste of
I mean,
time.
I've
don't
always
you?
been up the example of the ELSA project from the 1950s.
Mhm.
Yep.
The so-called electronic psychologist, quote
Yeah.
unquote, which is an early development of natural language or LLMs.
Yeah.
Well, like
Yeah.
I say to people all the time, I really think we are AI. I think we're probably a hybrid being that is AI. And I say that because we are trying to build something to mimic us. What makes you think something didn't build us to mimic them?
Well,
I mean, and we didn't
Right.
come to
Just
sentience.
Good
think
point.
what happens when you had your human and your fallen angels, mating, and that didn't go so well.
Mhm.
Just saying.
But it did go.
They went, but it
Didn't
went.
go so
So
well, but it
why do you need a sentient computer when you have a fallen angel?
because
I mean,
that is
that
human
that
nature.
is the epitome of. I mean,
Okay.
they can't be anywhere near as bad
But
as the fallen angel.
you think
I'm
my
sorry.
article from last night was cool? Wait until you hear my sci-fi. Because you're going to trip out if you ever listen to it, Vicky. Because what I'm doing is I'm creating this entity made out of artificial intelligence and freaking wetware and technology, synthetic technology. But these entities, which are ancient, ends up influencing them. So you're going to have these. This is all science fiction, okay? But you're going to have these creatures that are made from humans and technology that are freaking possessed by ancient entities. Dude.
Souls.
Well,
I was going to say, so like biomechanical technology, basically.
Yeah.
Nice.
Imagine H.P. Lovecraft on freaking crack cocaine, dude.
I have a hard time imagining you just normal. So don't ask me to go H.P. Lovecraft on cocaine, please, because you're already like a creative spinner. That is just. But what's nice is you're using ancient mythos and wrapping that in. So I mean, in everything you talk about, I can find somewhere in a cultural background a type of mythos that follows that direction. When you're talking about hybrid beings, I look at the pantheons and say, well, let's look at the ancient gods. Let's look at them. Most of them were half bird, half human, half this. They were chimeras. They were hybrids. And it's why I give a lot of credence to the thought that, again, we were most likely a hybrid that just happened to look like this.
Well,
I mean,
that's
logically it makes sense. I mean, it's illogical to say we just out of nowhere and by chance erupted from the mud.
God would have created us. God created us and breathed into. That's where the image of God is in us.
But if you think about that, think about it, Vic. Think. God. What makes you think God is not simply an extraterrestrial of advanced methodologies and intelligence?
Because he's God. He is the Elohim. He is the ultimate.
But again, the Elohim could just be a very ancient creator of an extraterrestrial intelligence that we just can't get our heads around.
But somebody had to make the extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
Extraterrestrial. Somebody had to make that. So
what did Jordan Maxwell say?
about extraterrestrial and God. You know, he said that God, if God was from, you know, what is an extraterrestrial? If you're terrestrial, you're from Earth. You know, if you're extraterrestrial, you're from not of Earth. So if God's from Cleveland, then he's terrestrial. But
Yep.
since God is not of this earth, he's definitely some form of extraterrestrial.
He's a
So, I mean, that's
supernatural
something Jordan
being.
Maxwell would always say.
Yeah.
He's a supernatural being. That's, um, the ultimate of the supernatural beings. He's the creator. He made all of the other
Well, he's our
lesser
creator.
supernatural.
Don't know if he's, I mean, or so goes the mythos. He is our creator, but we can't speak for other intelligent life. That's my thing, and that's where I got to get mad at humanity, because
Well, I mean,
humanity
Well, we were
highly
given
the
choice.
the story is included in 15 other societies and cultures as well. So, I mean, the names were changed, but the story's the same.
It proceeds.
And I'm
It
not
proceeds.
disagreeing with the story.
But who's to say, if you go to Planet Elon or whatever, they don't have a similar story. But we don't know that because we
Or
haven't
even
met them
Mars.
yet.
Because if we go back a certain length of time and look at what Mars was probably like several million years ago with an actual atmosphere, something very similar to us could easily have existed on Mars. A little bit difference in body weight and bone density and things as such, but not very different from us. I mean,
with
it's
Venus,
Either way,
too.
it'd be considered extraterrestrial.
correct.
Which
whether
is
it be little green men or whether it be Jesus, you know?
Exactly. For us to assume, we make assumptions, and we shouldn't. Because, I mean, for God's sakes, there could be a life form out there that is like nothing we could ever possibly imagine, because we haven't had the perceptual view of it to even imagine it.
Well, that would be angels.
Well, even like I said, they proved years ago that there's another form of life. And what is it? It's arsenic based. Nobody could have imagined that coming, and yet it was true.
Yep.
So it's like, we have to get outside of this arrogance we have as human beings, this ego. And not just this ego, it's fear. We have a fear.
What is arrogance? What is arrogance?
Arrogance is saying that there's nothing out there more intelligent than what we can think of.
Well,
that is arrogance.
Are you not including the supernatural beings? Satan
Well,
is
even
smarter
supernatural
than
beings,
that's divine.
They're more intelligent, or
Yeah.
we can't describe them, because if they don't have form, how do you really,
That's
a thought form, that's
when you
about
say
it. That's what
They don't
you
have
mean.
form. They don't take form down here unless they take human form.
No, not according to John D. That's not true. John D made it very clear that they took other forms besides human forms.
Well, John D. too. I want to point something out as well there. From what I've been learning, there's a good chance John D. wasn't talking to angels. Okay, everybody leaves out the whole concept of the good daemon, which I've mentioned on your show before. You know what I mean? Now, the good daemon and the angels, they kind of parallel one another. As a matter of fact, I would go as far as to say that's where the concept of angels came from.
Because it's older.
Well, the supernatural beings, we call them angels. That's a job description. They're supposed to be messengers.
I love it.
You're not wrong there.
She said it's a job description. You get your butt in there and do your job.
But what I'm
That's
saying
what
is,
Solomon said when he told
Angel
those
means
Ephraim and the genie to take, and you better dig that gold. And they're like, but it's cold down here.
Yeah.
We don't want to. We're going on strike. And he says, I got this little this emblem and symbol, and you're going to do as I say, and this ring is going to make you do it.
Right.
He's like, okay, we'll do it.
Exactly.
but again, there you're talking
different names.
symbols had and still have power.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
People
yeah.
don't understand that. They just don't get it. They have power. Universally, they have power. And it's just depending on how they're utilized.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And
supernatural
it's funny
evil
because,
has
like I said,
intelligence.
It's interesting.
Of course it does, but so does supernatural good.
It really is
I mean,
interesting. That stuff right there has always amazed me. I try to stick to history and stuff, but I always get drugged back into those myths and those philosophies and
because there's too much of it, Roger.
no, I love it.
It's like
I
it's
love
like
it.
when you start talking about the jinn and you actually take the time to research the jinn, there's so much documentation and research in regards to the jinn. And yet they'll scoff it up and I mean they made shows to make fun of it. I Dream a Genie, they made shows to make fun of it. And it's not something really to laugh at because if you really research it, yeah, this is not something you want to play with. It's not something you want to laugh with. It goes beyond the human brain's understanding in some ways. And yeah, but again, there you're looking at religion, a lot of different factors coming into play to do what? Make fun of it, belittle it.
You see that film,
And believe it or not, believe it or not, even with that show, there was always a price to be paid.
Correct.
Yeah,
I've always
said,
somebody asked me today if I cast spells. I'm like,
because
nope.
to keep her, he married her.
Oh God, seriously.
Yeah.
There we go. There goes that broken. Okay, Mark.
That's such a burden. I mean, oh my God.
And how,
like one of the hottest chicks of the 1970s, and it's just such a burden.
Barbara Eden.
You know what I mean? Come on, dude. You wouldn't have married Barbara Eden when she was
had a
back.
banging body, man.
All right.
She had a banging
okay.
body.
Yeah.
All right. Then, okay, we can do the same thing with Elizabeth Montgomery, too.
No,
when you
nothing.
dabble with that kind of crap.
No competition.
I didn't say crap. I said craft.
Well,
like
because
I said,
she was bewitched.
Yeah, she was hot, but she wasn't no Barbara Eden, dude.
With any practice, including Christianity, with any practice, there is a price to be paid for requests.
Mm-hmm.
If you're putting out good intention, the price that you pay coming back is usually a good return.
Mm-hmm.
If you're putting out something selfish or bad, it's going to come back and whack you. You have to pay a price. You cannot manipulate energy without paying the toll keeper. It's that simple. It's the way it works. And it's funny because as a witch, most common question I get, do you do curses? Do you cast spells? I'm like, well, no. The fact that I'm inside your head to begin with is kind of a curse. Just going to put that out there. But number two, the fact is that whatever I have to do, whatever I would do, it's going to come back at me. Yeah. I'm not willing to pay that price. Hell no. I would never put my loved ones in that kind of danger, ever. My whole thing is about bringing a symbiosis to my surroundings and my nature, not to disrupt it.
Right.
And that. Let's talk about Oblivion.
Talk next week?
Where's Sonia at? Let's talk about Oblivion.
They bailed,
Sonia
man.
had to go. Sonia had to go. She was saying she had to jump. Man. And Ralphie is ass deep in his game. Are you kidding me? He's gonna go in there and
Nancy,
the TV's probably gonna be on the ground.
Do it next week?
What? Do what, honey? Oh yeah, what we talked about?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now,
well, this seemed to kind of work out pretty good the way it went tonight, and it'll even get better as we go along. What do you think, Roger? Should I keep it the way we did on how we connected up tonight, or make special rooms for this?
I like it. What do you guys think? You think it was a lot easier this route? Because I mean,
it's easier in one room.
Yeah,
I can tell you that.
Yeah.
We can start trying to do that with the Vixen's Vault too, as we go along. But
I think I'm in 6 different conversations with the Vault in all different rooms right now because I can never figure out which room we just talked in.
Right.
and then what we can do is we can kind of delete those old ones and then or hide them so they don't pop up.
I was going to say, just trying to review the messages that on those rooms.
Don't do that. Don't do that, dude. Seriously, me and Nancy have freaking But and
Go
oh
in.
my
We get
God,
into it.
Vicky, dude, Vicky
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
When we start talking about skin diseases, oh, dude,
Oh my God, that was funny. What about
that
herpes? I was like, oh God, he did it. He did it. He brought it up. There we
Yeah,
go.
he
you
did it.
cannot tell me that was not a cool conversation, though, dude.
It was.
That was
It was.
awesome.
Absolutely.
All right,
It was.
but I'm going to say this. All right, I just finished the audio edit, and I don't know what happened. I think that we're missing parts of it, but I I want to. I am. It does look and sound pretty good. It must have missed the break because we're about 10 minutes short of what we would have been, and
I can
but
send you the
everything's
audio
gonna.
from my half if you want it, because I am
No, no.
simulcasting.
I'm not gonna. For the first episode, I'm not gonna. This is kind of like, let's get it going. I'm gonna leave the raw as it is,
Mm-hmm.
but the edit part I'm gonna put up like this because it still sounds pretty good.
Okay.
And what I'll do is next week we will it'll be fixed. And for some reason, it something happened with the audio, the radio broadcaster that did that. I don't know why it shortened it like that, but it did.
Okay.
But we are going to get that up and out. And let's while I got everybody here, we're probably getting close to time also. I need to look for places to host out while I finish edits and things like that. Nancy, what happened? You're
What do you
typing
mean?
something. Okay, I see you typing. I thought maybe you.
No, I was saying goodnight to Sonia because
Good
she
night,
had said
Sonia.
goodnight in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, she's probably babysitting or something if I know her. Yeah, it'd be about that time. So,
Yeah.
and believe it or not, Victoria is right behind me.
Excellent.
Oh,
See up on the
Excellent.
bed there, Victoria.
Hello, Victoria.
Oh, hello.
I hope
Hey,
we didn't.
Victoria.
I hope we
Hey.
didn't spook her
oh my
or
God! Look
anything.
at how big she got. Oh God, Victoria,
Wow.
She's
I remember when your
13.
mother was pregnant with you.
Nancy, she's 13.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's Noah's age. I know. I'm like, holy crow! That time is like flying, sweetheart.
Remember
remember
when she was so
pregnant with you.
little that when we were doing Cafe Enigma and your show and that, she was sitting on my lap and you're like, and I was doing
We're
I
calling
was
her the
eating
Gralian. Calling her the Gralian.
really. Yeah. Well, that could have been Katie too, though, because
No, it was
of them were.
Victoria. I do remember that because it was. I remember because I remember Angela being pregnant and being her, and I remember you were just so proud to show her to me, and you're like, "She's my little alien." And we had Micah Hanks on the show
Yeah,
not too long before that. And you're like, "My Gralian." And I was like, "Oh Lord, here we go."
this is my Gralian. Yeah, we're you need to get Micah in soon.
I just talked to Micah
Again.
a few weeks ago.
Let's
doing
let's talk
great.
to him. What's he doing? Find out what he's been up to.
Yeah, I'd love to catch up with him because he's still hot on the trail of a lot of things. He kind of cooled his jets a little bit. I think everybody did with COVID. Everybody kind of just cooled out a little bit because it changed the landscape of things in a huge way. The group, the paranormal family that was once just, it didn't matter what your politics were. None of that mattered to us before COVID. And then COVID hit and it created this schism. That was ridiculous. And I know it hurt Micah because Micah lost friends. Because Micah was a staunch liberal for a very long time until right before COVID. And then he can use in a big way.
Man,
And
you were breaking up really bad there for a second.
Yeah, I know. I think they censored her.
Let me tell you something. I had a dream about you, me, and guess who?
Scotty?
Yes.
I'll get out of your head now.
I dreamt that you and I were out riding around and you were like, let's pull over, let's get some gas. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, I filled it up and then we're in my truck and then we're driving by and She goes, "Hey, that's Scotty up there." And Scotty's out mowing the lawn or something. I'm like, this is, Scotty probably can't do that right now, and and I dreamt this like last night. All right, and he invites us in, and we're sitting all around just talking, and he's reading the newspaper, and we're just having like sodas and drinks with him. Everything was like real cool, and that's all I remember. So I
It's
hope
funny
nothing
because
has happened to Scotty or anything.
no,
And
something
he's
good happened with
doing
Scotty.
good.
He released a video today, updating everybody on his physical health because, as you know, he almost died several times.
Yeah.
But he apparently went back to the doctor yesterday, and they were discussing removing his right leg because of the gangrene type situation that was occurring in his big toe. And the doctor said, "You know what? Let me just try this one last thing, and let's see if we can salvage this leg." And he did this procedure like outpatient, and whatever he did, it stopped the infection. So Scotty just did a video today basically telling everybody it looks like I'm on the finally permanent road to recovery. I don't have to worry about the leg anymore. The leg is not going anywhere. So I was like, okay, good. He's finally getting some good news. And I can tell he's more positive, more upbeat, but God, this aged him in a huge way. And I just, he said, I can't really type still because I'm still, the combination of the medications they had me on and everything else, I'm just not quite there yet, but I can speak. So I was really, really happy to see his update.
Well, that's good because, it kind of gave me concern. Like, sometimes when I dream of people and that it's not always for the good,
I know.
Like, yeah, and he was happy and everything. I'm like, man, I need to, and while we were talking, I'm like, now I just remembered that. I'm like, man, I'm glad we talked. I've never met Scotty in person or you, but
I have.
It was really,
met
I know you guys have, but have met, but it was kind of a strange dream at that, but it was neat. That's all I can say.
In fact, I can probably get Scotty on the show now because he's not doing his own shows right now.
That's good. Yeah. It would probably be good for his mental health to be part of a show like yours.
Oh God, I miss him. Him and I are like, oh my God.
Him, and Micah together. Oh my God, it's like the old times.
Me, him, and Rocky. Oh Lord, what a mess. But I mean, it just I guess Scotty, you could say Scotty reminds me of Vicky. Like Vicky will very much like Scotty.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually his major in college was theology, Vic. Brilliant
Wow.
man, and he's a thespian, so he's got that orator's voice. He could be a little long-winded, but
no,
I would get him on the air and just like shut my mic off and like kind of put my head back and be like, go.
You can with him too. You could take your headphones off, get up, get a drink, go to the bathroom, and just
days.
pop in every now and then. Yeah, we did we did the Exodus reality, which which tied into a biblical series that I did with Cafe Enigma, which talked everything from the walls of Jericho to Moses, and the Red Sea. Yeah, you were there too, David. I remember.
Well, in fact, we did a live broadcast with Scotty and John
out of Egypt.
Yeah,
when they were on. Yep, when they were on the boat, and John had the Pringles can. Oh my God, that was so funny! I forgot about that. He had made the Pringles can into a Wi-Fi receptor, which was hysterical. And I was like, "How did you do that?" So he told me. I was like, "Oh, I got to try that," and it works, by the way.
Which is actually a good idea. I think we should pressure Vicky into giving her opinion of what a good episode of Cafe Enigma would be when it comes to the religious aspects, because I know Mark mentioned it a couple times about wanting to do a few episodes of it, and I think that would be a good idea because I've been trying to pressure her to do something.
That's what we're doing. That's what Vicky was talking about with this next episode.
I
The
think
next
that
one.
series was called Mysteries of the Bible. It was like
Yep.
a 6-part series that I did. It was really good. A lot of people followed it, but the most followed show that Cafe Enigma ever did was about Michael Rockefeller.
Yep.
And then the next one would have been Amelia Earhart and the
Yeah,
Limburg child.
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
Baby, Limburg baby. Yeah.
And the
So we
word,
did,
you know what
and
the
then
sad part?
and then right after that, I think I did Missing in Action, and that's kind of one that David and I think it was just you and me that night.
I think so.
And maybe, huh?
Yeah, I think it was just the two of us. Yeah.
Just the two of us, and we talked about guys missing in action to killed in action, and it was and it landed on what was it, a veteran, no, yeah, it was a Veterans Day or a
Probably was.
or
Yeah.
something like that is how
I remember doing a show for the Vault with you, Mark, that was on Veterans Day, and it was based on the stories. In fact, we had a soldier on, I can't remember his name, but it was about the stories of the ghostly soldiers that led soldiers to safety on the battlefield.
Oh, wow.
yeah
Was
Yeah, that was a great
the
show.
World War II? Was it World War II?
No,
or?
it was Vietnam. He was Vietnam.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was.
I know
There
a
was one
topic.
for Vietnam, and then you also drew that back into something that went into Civil War and Revolutionary War.
Yeah,
I remember
Revolutionary
that
War
quite
is a
well.
lot
That
of
was
it.
I
really good.
know a topic I keep forgetting about, and I always want to mention it to you guys. But the horse in World War One or World War Two that actually joined the army and fought on the Allied side and had no coercion whatsoever. As a matter of fact, they let that horse run on its own, and it actually acted like a soldier.
Yep.
Wow.
It's like there's some you can do. We got, like I said, I really kind of want to get back into that with the Vault and get creative, but it's a very hard political environment right now. It makes it. I mean, Peter Robbins. I could get Peter Robbins back on the show, but he's so polar opposite of where we all stand politically. It would not go well, and I can tell you that right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, we don't need that.
It doesn't mean Peter and I aren't friends, because we are.
Yeah,
but I
same
know in a public forum, it's not going to go well.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I'm not going to put him through that. I'm not going to put me through that. I'm not doing it. But on the other side of that, a lot of the older shows, a lot of my connections, a lot of these people are trying to stay away from the paranormal. Like, in fact, I got to get Rob. I think I can get Rob back on Demarest. I'm still in contact with him quite a bit. But I mean, I'd love to do that. But
Deb just had him not long ago.
I mean,
Yeah.
I want to get like into, I want to do these shows again, though, that are not maybe the rich and famous, but people, regular people who have had these experiences. Like, I thought that Ghost Soldier episode was incredible because it brought something to life. And there were,
Why don't you do this? I mean, you have a 2-hour show. You could make a segment just for that.
I think that, I think that's actually would work beautifully. I'd like to give Vicky a segment.
Yeah.
Just kind of like an update, here, Vicky, let's go ahead and, integrate you into your show, because I think again, I'm not poking at Vicky at all when I say she has an important message, and I want her to be able to voice it, because just as we have our messages, she has hers. And I know she tends to get drowned out because we disagree a lot of times with what the message should be, but I want her to still be able to have her voice. There's a lot of people that agree with Vicky. And again, we may not stand on that same, I guess you could say, perception, but we all agree that. Go ahead.
Oh, from Dr. Michael Heiser, who's as he's a theologian, he's a antiquities language, reads Greek, the Hebrew, Sanskrit, Mesopotamian. He knows it all, and his hobby was the paranormal. He would be on paranormal shows. He went into it, and then when he would read, one particular verse, and it was Psalm 82:1, and it was talking about the divine council, which God was there, and and it said he was seated amongst the gods, and he was a seminary student at the time. He was like, "What the heck is that?" And
Well, that's kind of
unfortunately,
what I'm thinking. I'd like you
you
to
know,
do like a psalm of the week, and focus on one psalm and give, something that has meaning or perspective, and give your perspective, like maybe a 10-15 minute segment where you're doing that. I think that would be a
well,
nice contribution to the show, to be honest.
I'm glad you guys are
well,
talking
you
about that
don't
because
want me to talk about.
let me ask MC something too, because this is kind of MC. Summer Todd actually contacted me, and she's saying she's wanting to do something this week, either Thursday or Friday, for 9/11, about the spirits of 9/11. And I don't know how you are about the paranormal and everything, but I know you're really into 9/11, and I was wondering if you'd want to come on there and be a part of the panel for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, 9/11 is going to be a busy day for me because I'm going to be in
Yeah,
New York
it's not gonna
most of the
be
day.
it's not gonna be on actually not 9/11. So
Oh, okay. All right. Well, very good. Yeah, I'm very open-minded when it comes to everything, really.
okay,
Doesn't matter if it's the paranormal or, whatever. But yeah, no, it sounds like fun.
okay.
I'm definitely game for that.
Because she mentioned it to me, and then I remembered you. I was like, "Whoa, hold on, dude. I can see if she wants MC Dirty Pants on there."
Dirty pants. Oh, yeah.
Oh, don't get mad at me, MC Dirty Work. Sorry.
I mean, but literally,
Yeah, no,
I
it
think
sounds like fun, man.
I think it's great. And like, I want to have eventually, like I said, Vicky had approached me. I put out in the chat, guys, anything you want to do, the panel, because you're each distinctively intelligent in your own aspects. Anything you want to do, let's do let me know. We'll do a show around it. I'm trying to give everybody a voice.
Skin disease.
And yeah, oh yeah, we're not doing a show on skin disease. Not after that Q&A that would happen in the chat. Oh no.
The Greek for herpes is Crete.
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, dude, like that is the coolest conversation. And I didn't think it at first, okay, but my ex, when I was living in Kansas City, she used to have the dictionary where it shows all the illnesses and the addictions.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah. Girlfriend's
no,
got the
hypochondriac.
DMJ. Yeah.
Mosby's dictionary, right?
yeah.
Well, then I think the question of the year came up in that conversation. Is herpes a skin disease? I was like, he did not just. Did he really just
It's
ask
a
that?
legitimate question, dude. It really is a legitimate question. And a lot of people don't know because, like, when the herpes pop, it creates an infection, but it has to pop first, I guess.
Yes. Well, and the thing is that most of us, and I said that, one of the reasons Vicky and I didn't bring it up was because to us, it's classified as an STD.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily think of it as it is a skin condition, but it is a skin disease, but it's classified as an STD. So we kind of put it over in its little pocket. That's STD that goes over there.
Treponema pallidum.
Well, I'm cool with calling it an STD because freaking, you know what? You don't want to mess around with the STD. You know what I'm saying? When
it's again, you got herpes 1 and herpes 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget, Jack mentioned too that you can get space herpes.
Space herpes. That's right.
And you know what? Okay. So that brings us to the end of the first episode of Cafe Enigma. I hope you guys enjoyed. I enjoyed it very thoroughly. It was really, really good. I was impressed. That's all I gotta say. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, go over to Dragus Production, give them the thumbs up, make comments, let everybody get to know you, because this is a very, very good group of people, and I hope you had a chance to listen to them and get to know them. And if you want to check us out, you can check us out on Rumble. You You can also check us out on YouTube at The Wonderful World of Weirdness on both platforms. I also have Strange Stories on YouTube, which is kind of like The Wonderful World of Weirdness as well. I am on DLive, where you can find me at Roger_Hanson. I am also Roger_Hanson at Kick. On Twitch, I am also streaming as Infamous 1969. If you guys want to check me out at any of those locations, you can find me there. I hope that you enjoyed the show, and I'm actually streaming this on Infamous 1973 on Rumble, which I will switch it around and put it on the proper channel after I'm done. It really sucks that I actually did the live stream on the wrong stream, but at least I know now that I did that. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, and I will talk to you later. Thank you guys